Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to On the Spot with David Rodgers, the live Facebook interactive show where you, the viewer, has total input on topics of discussion regarding any subject that includes commenting, talking, or debating, not with just your host, but with each other. You control and run this show. We're just a rudder that steers this big old ship. This is the show that is wide open with no limits as we bring it to you first. We discuss breaking news, politics, and business, sports, and other pertinent stories that affect our everyday lives. We serve the regional area to include Stark, Lake Butler, Keystone Heights, Palatka, Gainesville, Waldo, Lulu, where you spotted that Amazon woman, Melrose, Brooker, Hampton, Middleburg, Jacksonville, and others surrounding
Amazon, my foot, that was Sasquatch, man.
I don't know, so... If there is a story to be reported or dissected on the spot, is the first to handle it. We also discuss happenings in Florida as well as Georgia and other southeastern states. But now let me introduce the show team, the guys who bring the move to the groove. First, behind the controls with the video and audio is our senior producer, Mr. Command and Control, the big dog. Our executive producer, Super Daredevil Holland. Say hello to everybody.
Hello, everybody.
And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, out of all of us, he is the best looking one on the show.
Probably so.
I would say so. I bet if we had a poll, I bet the women would vote him to say
I'll tell you what.
Would you think so, Dave?
I'd have to play my Willie Nelson song first.
You would have to play your Willie Nelson. Yes.
You know what him and Mr. Kramer both have in common?
What's that?
They got the perfect face for radio.
Yes, they do, don't they? That's why he get voted the sexiest guy.
No, I know who.
Who?
Mitchell. I'll vote Mitchell.
You vote for Mitchell?
Yeah,
well, you and Mitchell's got a thing going.
Look
Up next,
out,
our operations and director and advertising and marketing guru, John Better Than Snopes Probes. Had a little something to do. He's on special assignment right now. Behind the scenes, providing us with up-to-date information, is our sports production assistant. And sitting in for Mr. John tonight is Roger the Tornado Cruz. Our man with all things weather, Austin Storm Chaser Stevens, under the weather tonight. Won't be with us, but we'll have his forecast. So, and now my co-host, to my left, the historian and governmental whiz on all things national and international, Byron, the one who helps keep our freedom and rights Bagwell.
Good evening, infidels.
Infidels? What in the heck? All right.
Come on, man.
And on special assignment at the Gainesville Raceway, not with local news and breaking information. He's right here with us, Mr. Blue Eyes himself. Mitchell, the American Scout, and your lookout on terrorism and anything else that does not belong or looks out of place, Gunter.
Good afternoon. That's a mouthful, isn't
That is, isn't it? My gosh, you got a heck of a title, don't you? And I'm your host, Mr. David Rodgers, the voice of the Bradford High Tornadoes, and
The show!
Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. We're coming to you live from the Bradford County Sheriff's Office, and we want to thank our host, Sheriff Gordon Smith, and his great emergency management staff for their hospitality. Just a reminder about the new and improved ADOs, so you, the viewer, has your say. Anytime a story hits near and dear to your hearts of the viewers or even us, if you have questions or comments, we jump into ADO. Byron, what is ADO?
Audience-driven overtime show.
Audience-driven overtime, and that happens in a segment, whether it's happening, right in the middle of a segment or whatever, and we see that the time is coming, we go right into ADO, which is audience-driven overtime. This allows you, the viewers, to have complete control of our show while giving everyone equal opportunity to have their voices heard.
Yes, sir.
Now, before we dive into the show, it's time to recognize our sponsors, the companies and groups that allow us to provide the services that we do. Welcome to the Sponsor Spotlight. Providing some of the best cuts in town, our very own Dave Holland and the rest of the fantastic team at Harry Business, home of the $8 haircut. Located in the Deerfoot Village, open 7 days a week, 9 to 6 Monday through Saturday, and 12 to 4 on Sunday, 7 days a week.
Go get your hair cut.
Yeah, absolutely. How about this? And I'm going to talk about this guy a little bit. Miracle Automotive and Towing in Stark and McClenny. Don't pray for a miracle. Call Miracle at 904-368-1114. Again, the number 904-368-1114. 1114. 24/7, 365 for all of your towing and automotive needs. I want us to stop right here a minute. My car had some issues with it this week, so I took it over there to him. He come to find out that the hub bearing was bad on the driver's side. He replaced it. He redid all my brakes. He changed the oil. He also rotated the tires. He's trying to fix the seat. He's trying to do some other things. All that, everything done, out the door, 7 bills. And that part I was talking about was half of it. Right. So you can see he's not ripping you off on labor rates or anything. If you have a vehicle that you need repaired, or if anything, you take it to Kurt Miracle and you tell him that the on-the-spot team sent you. We've all gotten our cars done there, and he does a wonderful job.
And the thing is, if you wouldn't have got that done, you would have had a 3-wheeler.
Yes,
eventually.
He told me. You know what he told me? And it scared me, really. He said, you drive that thing to Lake City. I couldn't believe you were driving it. He said, that was an accident waiting to happen. And if that thing would have fell off and a truck's coming, you wouldn't have been able to control that. You never would have known. Y'all may be hosting this show. So thank God I went in there and got that fixed. Yes, it was it cost some money, but everything that you do costs money. That's right. Money can't put a value on life. No. And again, Miracle did a wonderful job. And Kurt Miracle doesn't give up. He'll diagnose that problem. He will keep it and keep it and keep it, and he'll diagnose that problem until it just blew in the face. And then you know what? I know he's got channels and filters out there. He'll just call somebody. Hello. Yep. I got this, and this. And the next thing now, he's
it's there. You know what I also heard that he does?
What's that?
I heard he also installs superchargers.
He does. Is that true there, Mitchell Gunner?
I imagine he can.
I imagine he can.
But I won't be getting any.
Well, we was hoping you said you were because Nicole's probably listening to the show. All right. Who's our next sponsor there, Raj? Our next sponsor is Williams Jewelry of Stark. Open 9 to 5:30 Monday, Tuesday, Thursdays, and Fridays. 9 to 4 on Wednesdays and 10 to 4 on Saturdays. Please go see Vicky over there. Man, she'll take care of you.
That's right.
You already said that if she doesn't have it, either she can make it or she can get it ordered, right?
That's right.
So, yeah, absolutely.
They can make it right there in the store.
In store.
Yeah. And they've got all kinds of things. We did a show over there, one of our first shows that we did when she was opening up her new place. And that was a wonderful show over there. Yeah. And actually, we talked to her, and she wants to do another show over there. So we'll probably possibly doing another show over there at Williams Jewelry. And maybe we can show you the whole display that she's got. Wow. That would be awesome. Who's our next sponsor, Raj?
Back to back with Miracle Towing in Williams Jewelry?
Yeah, man. I can tell you that right now. Who's our next sponsor, Raj? There it is right there, Raj. Thank you for getting that to us. On the spot lawn maintenance. Let the red, white, and blue take care of your green. We have your gutters and pressure washing covered and all sorts of yard maintenance needs. Just find us on Facebook, On the Spot Lawn Maintenance, or you can call my cell phone number there, 904-966-1633. And I tell you right now, it's the time. Hey, we're starting to get calls right now and starting to get our schedule lined up. People wanting their yards cut, all this rain coming and everything. Man, their yards are starting to get high, so make sure you get on us. Also, there's plenty of work. Mitchell Gunner's dad also does lawn maintenance as well. So, hey, if we can't get to it, I'm sure Mitchell's dad can get to it as well. So I'm not afraid to get out there and say, hey, would I like? Of course we would. But there's enough work for everybody out there.
There's enough yards.
There's enough yards. And, hey, we're not stingy. Hey, if we need help, hey, we'll call him to help us. I'm sure if he needs help, he'll call us.
Right. Isn't it still winter in Florida?
It is, supposedly. Yeah, all these mild weather.
It just depends. Some weeks we can have all the 4 seasons all in 1 week.
Yeah. Yes, we can.
Fall, winter, fall.
Yeah. So who's our next sponsor, Raj? Service First Mobile Small Engine Repair is McCray. Let Chuck Scarberry come to you. Call 904-703-5136 to schedule an appointment. Again, Service First Mobile Small Engine Repair in McCray. Let Chuck Scarberry come to you. 904-703-5136 and schedule an appointment.
That baseball name.
Yes, it is. How about the next one, Roger? Schuster and Sabin Law Firm out of Jacksonville, Florida. If you have been injured in an accident, visit www.piplaw.com. That's one of our newest sponsors. That's John. John's mama works there. By the way, thank you, Lisa, for everything that you do for us. And I know that you're willing to donate and help time with us, and we really appreciate that. So, and we've got some things coming up that I'm going to be discussing here very shortly. And last, but certainly not least, North Jacksonville Complete Dentistry with Doctors Johnson and Baxter. They've got all your dental needs covered. Located conveniently on Dunn Avenue in Jacksonville, Florida, the home of Leonard Skinner, by the way. Call Dan Baxter at 904-751-4958 and mention On the Spot. And guess what, Dwight? You'll get 10% off your visit.
That's right. Go get them
grills fixed, man.
Get some gold.
Yeah, get some gold. If you would like to become one of our sponsors, which many people have come up and said to us, we would like for you to do that. You can call our marketing guy. Call John Probst at 904-782-7101 or email the team on the spot 32091 at gmail.com. Also, by the way, on that, if you'll go back, Roger, for just a second, if you'll go back, not only can you email about sponsorship, you can email about comments, any subject that you want to talk about, questions.
Right.
Hey, get them to us early. If you get them to us early, we can possibly research a little bit, and we can have you an answer. If we can't find the answer, hey, us guys will tell you, hey, we don't know. We'll figure it out, though.
Yeah,
we'll figure it out, and we'll get somebody that can answer it. All right, Roger, next. And now it's time to get started with our prayer, our pledge, and our patriotic quote of the week. So, ladies and gentlemen, if we can bow our heads, please, and let's go into prayer. Our righteous Heavenly Father, let us once thank again for a wonderful and glorious day, dear Lord. Let us thank you for this show that we get to do each and every week. Thank you for the lives that you've given us each and every day. Keep blessing us, dear Lord, and keep giving us all the blessings as we believe in you. We believe you are the miracle worker. You're the one that can make all things happen, dear Lord. Thank you for the greatest country that we live in today, the United States of America, with the greatest freedoms and the best nation in the world, dear Lord, and that's our own country. Bless our men and women of the armed forces that we have here, dear Lord, as you keep a hedge of protection over them as they are out there fighting for our rights and our freedoms. Bring them back home safely to their families, dear Lord. Any spoken or unspoken prayer requests, dear Lord, that you just bless those guys. You touch their hearts. You know their needs and their wants, dear Lord. You're the magical healer. You're the guy that can fix things, dear Lord. So please touch them in each and every way. Thank you for the food that we receive each and every day as it goes into the nourishment of our bodies and our bodies to thy service. And we ask for all these things in your Son's name, the great and mighty Jesus Christ. And the congregation says,
Amen.
Amen. Let us stand for the pledge of this beautiful country. Mr. Mitchell Gunner, if you will lead us, please, sir.
I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Amen. Mr. Byron Bagwell, I know we always call it a patriotic quote of the week, but hey, sometimes it's not a patriotic quote of the week. It could just be a quote of the week. But what do you have for us tonight? You always surprise us with this, and I'm always loving to hear this because, hey, it could be the same one and maybe something different.
It's going to be different.
Okay. I like it.
Yeah, it's going to be different tonight.
Okay.
Beware that when fighting monsters, you yourself don't become a monster. For when you gaze long into the abyss also gazes into you. That is a quote by Friedrich Nietzsche. And it makes a lot of sense when you start thinking about what's going on with our politics today.
Yes.
Because everybody thinks we're fighting monsters on each side. Beware that you don't become what you think the other person is.
And that's exactly right. That's almost like the quote, hey, when I was over there visiting Miracle Automotive and Towing yesterday, getting my car, we was talking about don't cast stones at a glass house. It's almost the same. It's almost the same type of quote, just in a different way, right there, pretty much.
Don't become what you're thinking you're fighting.
Right.
So
Yeah. So
That's it.
anyway. All right. So we're going to need to get to the quick and dirty. Dave, could I ask you to swap over? We just lost Mr. Cruz here. He has to go. He's got an emergency going on. So again, welcome into the show. We got started a little bit late tonight, but Saturdays is one of those type of shows, guys, that we got a little flexibility, being the weekend and everything.
Laid back.
Sort of laid back.
Let's do
let's do a little fun and have a little fun. To my left, right here, fighting for your rights and your freedoms, Mr. Bagwell. Say hello to everybody.
hello, everybody.
There you
and
go.
Infidels.
And oh my goodness. And how about there, Mr. Mitchell Gunner? Mr. Mitchell Gunner, of course. Say hello, Mitchell.
How y'all doing?
Sorry you lost today, man. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about
We
that.
sure will.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. And Dave Holland, nice to see you, Raj. All right, man, you go take care of your deal there. And Mr. Dave Holland doing a little bit of double duty. He's with us tonight. But again, welcome to On the Spot with David Rodgers. Please stay and tune in. Again, we're going to have a great show. A little laid back tonight, as we said. We're going to be talking about a lot of different things. But first and foremost, before we get to the quick and dirty, we have found Mitchell's long, long lost stepson, none other than Corey Booker. I don't even know what to say there. Where did I'm going to be honest with you, Mitchell. I did not come up with that one.
I don't have no steps.
If I had him as a stepson, I wouldn't claim him.
I wouldn't claim him. Good grief. None of us said a thing, did we? Wow. I did not come up with that one. That was pretty good.
As bad as Nancy Pelosi.
Yep. And we have received a call from Maury today, and that was John Probst. And it seems that we have some news on Roger as well. The results are in, and his great-grandfather was revealed as none other than Radar O'Reilly. That ain't too bad.
Poor Radar.
Poor Radar. Yeah. How about that, huh? Good grief. Here's Austin's forecast for the next few days. Highs will be in the near 80s for the next few days with rain possible all around the region. So thank you, Austin, for that weather report. Here's your quick and dirty for this Saturday night. Start PD is reminding everyone to lock their vehicles and their belongings since there has been a rash of burglaries lately. One happened, I do believe, again last night. Please make sure you lock your car up wherever you're going. Very important. Firefighters in Bradford County and with the Florida Forest Service have been busy lately putting out brush fires around the county. The Bradford County Fire and Rescue is asking all citizens to be vigilant and careful when out and about. Watch your speed going through town. Start PD has amped up their patrol forces, and they're patrolling the city looking for traffic violations. Remember, click it or ticket, and also remember, none of this.
Right. No,
They're looking for that too.
Yep.
Just because that you just said, hey, click it or ticket. They're looking for this too.
Hey,
So-
and it's true. They're working the roads right now. As I was coming in,
Yep.
they had someone pulled in at
Look at
Christmas.
So there you are. Ladies, when you're shopping at the store, be sure to use the child restraint as a lock for your purse. We've seen too many purse thefts lately. Engine 1 from the city of Stark made quick work of a vehicle fire at the Murphy U.S. gas station at the south end of town this afternoon. The fire was put out quickly and no injuries were reported. Nice. And moving on to the show now. Again, ladies, welcome in.
Before we move on to the show, I'd like to thank Mr. Dwight Allen for bringing us dinner tonight. It was
Yes.
really good, and we need to say
As a matter of fact, we may be able to get Mr. Dave Holland to bring that so I can tilt that over to show our viewers. See, these guys eating. Well, Mitchell didn't. Me and Mitchell still got to taste them. But he brought us in some ribs, Mr. Dwight Allen, one of our...
Mr. Bean Burrito over here.
Yeah, Mr. Dwight Allen, one of our longtime listeners. Y'all know Dwight. Y'all see him commenting each and every week. Let's take a look at this right here. Yeah, look at that right there. Look at that. Oh, my goodness. Look at the juices flow off that thing, ladies and gentlemen. This is Mr. Dwight Allen.
You need to shut that thing back up.
No, sir.
That's too good.
That looks really good. Wait a minute. So
It was full.
Yes, it was full.
And then
These
Roger
cats
got a
are,
hold of
yeah,
it.
well, somebody did. But anyway, that's Mr. Dwight Allen. Thank you again, Dwight, for doing that. He's one of our brothers. Always has been. He's been a long-time listener to the show. He loves the show. So if you're ever wanting something cooked, maybe you can get a hold of Dwight Allen and say, hey, y'all can work out a little something, you know what I mean? And, hey, Mr. Dwight Allen, I'm sure love to cook them. He's got some fantastic ribs,
Yes.
brother. I still don't know how he didn't win that rib cook-off last year. I don't either.
Not only do they
We
look
had
good,
3
they
judges,
taste
and
good.
I was one of them, and I thought they were pretty good. So we want to get to some of our comments here before we get started. Austin Stephen, thank you for joining us. Noah, thank you for joining us. Carlton Jones, appreciate it. Connie Wilson, good evening to you. Archie Waters, thank you guys. Yeah, appreciate you joining in. Good evening. Look at there, our very own Jimmy Smith is on there. Austin's Weather Service, Dwight Allen, what do you say? I can see him. Well, the Visible Man, Cynthia Spence Wimberly is on. How about that, huh? Mr. Byron Bagwell's on.
Who is that guy?
Who is that guy?
Some crazy guy with a Sacramento hat on, I guess.
Yeah. Shirley says, our mom, she's all Dwight's in trouble.
I tried to leave that one
alone.
I
know
it was coming.
Dwight, where is mine? With about 15 question marks.
Oh, man.
Yeah, boy. How about that? Miss Bagwell, Miss Shirley, you know I love you. You're like my mom, and I don't know. You're going to have to talk to the other son about that one. Anyway, Austin's Weather Service. Too early, but a possible freeze next weekend. We may have a snapback to reality coming up in February. Just because we've been having a warm last 8 days does not mean what you said, Dave. You put up those winter coats away yet. Wait till after April 1st or the rule of thumb after Easter. Good point there, Austin. Absolutely. Again, thank you and welcome into On the Spot with David Rodgers. Got started just a little bit late tonight, just trying to get some things gathered up and ready. The Saturday show is pretty manila. We like to do a lot of different things and a lot of fun things. Before Mitchell came in, I wanted me and Byron, I don't know if you heard it or not, Byron, but we were talking about some people in front of Dave's shop today when I went over there this morning. Remember when I told you that I was over that way?
Yeah.
And they said, David, man, we know who you are. We said, we know what you do, and we know you've been around here a long time, but I really don't know you. And I was like, that got me to thinking. And I was like, what are you talking about? He says, your history. He says, your bio, like a bio. You know, and I thought I've done that before, maybe in some previous shows when I was by myself, maybe I'd done that. But he brings up a good point and something that I'd like to do. And I'm going to ask you gentlemen to do it as well.
Sure.
And we can do like one each week. I would like for y'all to write up a bio. There you go. Write up a little bio about yourself. It don't have to be very long. Just tell your background, your history, where you're from. This show is well diversified, as I was telling Dave. Dave from Ohio, Hamilton, Ohio. Michael Heater's not from here. I think he's from down south somewhere, Fort Lauderdale or something. I'm from Pascagoula, Mississippi. You're from here.
I am from here.
Mitchell is from here. John Probst is really from Jacksonville, even though he's lived here. He's from Jacksonville, Florida. Rodgers from here, and I'm not sure about Austin. I don't know if he's been living here all his life or not, from Keystone. Who? Which one?
Really?
Well, he could be.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later. But anyway, so I thought about that. And gentlemen, I really think we owe it to our viewers to give them a little bit of a bio. And once we give it, I think that we ought to post it on Facebook. Not all of our information, but just some background. You know, like they do with sports guys. Hey, he's 6'5", 245 pounds from wherever. You know what I mean? Mobile, Alabama. You know what I mean? Or something like that. I think that would really make the show interesting. It will tell a little bit about us. And, you know, I was telling Dave, I thought about doing this tonight for myself because I know my own. You know, you guys know your own. But I was going to give y'all a little time maybe to think about it and how you want to present it and stuff. So I figured I would be the guinea pig, and I'd let y'all see what I was talking about doing something like that. So I will go ahead and do that right now while we have a moment, if you don't mind, Mitchell, before we get into this. And Dave, I know you wanted to talk about a scam that's going on, and we'll incorporate that here. But anyway, the gentleman that come up to me, I've known for a long time. I've known him for like 20 years. And it's funny that he said that to me. He goes, man, I know you're a good guy and this and that, but I really don't know much about you. So we'll start from the beginning. All right?
Oh, yeah. Where is the beginning?
Good grief. We're going to have to go way back because there's a lot of years that we have to go back.
Right. Was you hatched?
Well, almost. It was close. But anyway.
The day the squirrel went berserk.
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay.
Well, I guess you got to start with your ancestors.
Well, we don't need to go back that far. Let's go back for just us because we could go back ancestry, and I could tell you that I was related to Magellan. Did you know that?
Really?
Yes, sir.
Ah.
Related to Mr. Magellan. How about that?
I knew your mother was Hispanic.
Yep, and that's exactly right. And I'm going to go back here just a little bit. So I'll start.
He's not a felon, is he?
Well, no, but he did. He did sail around the world.
Yes, he did.
Yes, he did. Yeah, but anyway, so we'll get started. So if I can,
It's Saturday.
yeah, it's Saturday. We can goof off, can't we? It's Saturday. So anyway, guys, for y'all guys that don't know me, and I don't know if y'all want to give your middle name. Do y'all even know my middle name? My name is David Albert Rodgers. Albert's my middle name.
Really?
Yes, it is.
That's
So
the first time I've heard
yep.
that. Everybody's learning.
Everybody's
something.
learning a little something here. I'm 58 years old. Was born in the Panama Canal Zone. My dad was in the Army. My mama was originally from Honduras. My grandmother lived in Panama. And my mother moved from Honduras back to Panama. That's where she met my father. And then that's where little David Rodgers was conceived. Was right there in the Canal Zone. If you don't know about the Canal Zone, it's a U.S. territory. So I'm automatically a U.S. citizen because I was born in the Canal Zone.
You like water?
So, oh no, yeah, I love water. But anyway,
just to let everybody know, if you have never been to the Panama Canal, it is something that you need to go do.
Yes, you do.
It's an experience.
Now, I was a very small boy. I haven't been back since.
Wow.
I was a very small boy. I lived with my grandmother when my grandmother was already old at that time. Back in 1962 and 63, she was already 80 years old at that time. So you can see that my grandmother's been deceased for a while. But she lived to be 99 years old.
Wow.
So that was a long life. But I lived with my grandmother for about 5 years. And then while my mother and father came back to the United States because he was getting out of the Army, they actually moved to Mobile, Alabama there for a while. And then they found a house over in Pascagoula because of the shipyard was there. And that's where my dad got a job. And then they brought me back over. And I've been living here since 1967. I was born in 1962. I've been living in the U.S. since 1967, even though I was in a U.S. territory.
Right.
Been living in the actual U.S. since 1967. I'm from Pascagoula, Mississippi. That's where I was born and raised. So a southern boy, about as southern as you can get. We was right there on the Gulf Coast, man. I live 2 miles from the coast. The beach was right there. What we called the beach. There wasn't much of a beach, but we called it a beach. But anyway, lived 2 miles from there. Grew up and went to an elementary school called Cherokee Elementary School. David Adams, that comes on the show, was one of the first guys I ever met. And we got to be good friends, and we stayed good friends through high school. We lost a little touch when we went into the service. But I went to Cherokee Elementary. Then I went to a junior high. At that time, it was junior high when we was going, called Calmer Junior High, Colmer, Calmer Junior High. And it actually went from 7th through the 9th grade. So my 9th grade year was actually my junior high year, even though it counted for, high school. So I got to play football in junior high up until I was in 9th grade. Now, 9th grade and up, you're considered high school. So back then, that's the way that was. Then I went to Pascagoula High School, Pascagoula Panther, played football, baseball, tried a little basketball, wasn't no good at that, but did excel in football and baseball quite a bit. And then graduated of a class of 528 people. We was the only high school at that time besides a private school called OLV, our Ladies Victory School. And so that was a pretty big class, 528 people. You'll see. I don't know if we're going to have that many when we go to the reunion because I don't know how many is going to go, but 528 people. And plus, we've lost some classmates.
Yeah,
I know we've lost 30 or 35 classmates for sure that I know of.
Yeah, mine was like 180 people.
And that's a pretty big class. And that's what some of these classes are running as well. And then I graduated. I tried junior college for a while. That didn't work out. Then my dad tried to get me on at the shipyard, and, that didn't work out. I just didn't really want to do anything. You know what I mean? And to be honest with you, I was about to get in trouble. So my dad said, well, why don't you try one of the services? Well, if y'all knew anything about me, and if you know anything about me right now, I had what we call Goldilocks. And I didn't want my hair cut for nothing. My hair was not near as long as yours. But it was down there, and it was long, and it was pretty, and all the girls loved it, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, excuse my French, oh, hell no, Dad. I'm not going into the service. I ain't getting this cut. Well, he says it's either that or you got to go to work at the shipyard or you going back to college. You're doing something. So after a while, started talking to the recruiter. I was like, okay, let's try it. How bad can it be, right? So joined the military, joined the Navy, went to boot camp in Orlando, Florida. You went to Great Lakes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you went to Great Mistakes.
January, February, and March.
Okay, and I got the opposite with Orlando. I got May, June, July.
Yikes.
In the hot. So that's what I got. So anyway, went to boot camp there. And let me tell you a little story. When I was sitting in the barber's chair, I was the last guy. I kept, you know how you were in line, Dave, to go get your haircut?
Yeah.
And what was it? About 3 swipes?
Yeah.
And it's gone, right? So my company commanders kept making fun of me, and everybody, the barbers kept making fun of me. So I'd swap in line. So I'd go from here to down to here, down to here, down to here, back, till I was the last guy.
Yeah.
And the guy says, aren't you going to get your hair cut there, pretty boy? That's what he told me. I said, no, sir, I don't want my hair cut. Well, he says, to be in this military, you're going to have to get your hair cut. And I was like, oh, no. I'm leaving, man. I started getting scared, right?
Yeah.
So my company commander says, you got 5 seconds to get in that chair or you're out of here. So I thought about it, jumped in the chair. All of them are laughing at me. Everybody's laughing at me. So the guy goes, whoop,
Right
whoop,
down the middle.
whoop. About 4 swipes, hit the floor. You know what he did? He swept it up in front of everybody, put it in a bag, and said, here you go. Here's a memory for you. And, of course, everybody's rolling and laughing. And, then, of course, there's girls walking by, and they're like, you know what I'm like, oh, because I went to boot camp with girls. Girls was down in Orlando. And I'm like, oh, my God. I look like a dadgum Oriental Telly Savalas is what I look like. That was about ugly. I'll have to show you some pictures.
Yeah.
But anyway, so after that, they called me Hollywood. Yeah, they called me Hollywood because of the hair and everything. They called me Hollywood. So, and Pretty Boy. It was either that or that. So, anyway, got through boot camp, went over to Moffett Field, California, which is no longer, that's NASA now pretty much. Went to A school over there to become a jet mechanic. And that's what I did. It was actually a P3 school. And then after that, after spending about 6 months there, then I went over to come back over to the East Coast and got stationed at NAS Jax. And that's how I know this area. I was stationed in VP 49. I did the world famous woodpeckers. Got anything to say about that, Mitchell? The world famous woodpeckers. How about that? They're decommissioned now. Shut up, Byron. Yeah. Anyway, so
I didn't say
I know, but you're laughing. You were laughing.
I did not say
Yeah, you were laughing.
I was behaving myself.
You were. I know you were laughing.
But you know a guy that I know that actually was
Yes.
on those P3s
Yes,
as well.
and absolutely,
Tony
it's a small
Gunyon.
community. Yep, it's a small community. Me and Mitchell's talked about this. So after being in that command there for a while, I was like, man, I see all these fly guys, man. Shoot, they're wearing those good-looking flight suits. I said, man, I want to do that. So I didn't know that the AD, well, I knew the AD rate could go flight engineer. So at that time, they had a program called the Second Mech program. So what you could do is you could fly with an engineer. You'd be part of a flight crew. You couldn't turn or do turn quals or anything like that, or you know, push the power levers up on the aircraft or anything, but you could ride and you could sit in the seat, and as long as somebody's with you, you know, you could do all these things. So it was almost like a training program. So I did that. And then I said, man, I want to become a full flight engineer. So I went to school at VP 30. That's how we become VP 30. Did that and became a flight engineer on P3s. And stayed in VP 49. Then I did short duty at AIMD for just a little while. And then I got transferred up to Brunswick, Maine, and with a squadron called VP 26, the Tridents. They're still around, I do believe. And so I stayed in for that until, been all over the world, by the way. I know everybody says, where have you been? So I've been to Perth, Australia. I've been all over Australia. I've been to Tel Aviv, Israel. I've been to Rota, Spain. I've been to Madrid, Spain. I've been to Seville, Spain. I've been all over the Caribbean. Seville. We call it Seville. So, yeah. So
Yeah.
And I tell you, and a battleship crew.
And here's
It's got a name.
here's the guy with a southern accent actually calling it the correct Spanish term, and
Yeah.
here's the Spanish
But-
guy
well,
calling it
let me tell you.
calling it the southern term.
Well, yeah, that's the southern term. Remember, it's Sevilla. No, E. But it doesn't have there.
And
So
the double L
so
sound like
Ville, like Jacksonville, but it is Sevilla. You're right.
Sevilla.
It's Sevilla.
Sevilla.
Yes, it is. So I've been to the French Riviera.
Nice.
Yep, been to France. Been to Paris. I've been all over, and that part of being flight crew and being in a P3 squadron allowed me to do that. Dave, as you've been all over the world on some of these on some of the air ships that you were on.
When
Some
you
of
were,
the
when you were in
places
Spain,
do.
did you go to Mallorca?
So I did not. We did not get a chance.
Oh.
But I did go to Palma.
Okay.
And I better keep those secrets. But anyway, oh yeah, wow. So
That's like Vegas. What happens in the Navy stays in the
stays in the Navy.
Right.
So after that, I got out. I got out in '93. President Clinton was drawing down the Navy at that time. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna get out and try my luck in the civilian world. But I stayed reserve. So I stayed in the reserve command. Was stationed with NAS Whiting Field. I actually became physical security, and that was my job during my reserve time. So I would go up there on the weekends and I would play security, police, and then on my 2 weeks I would play police down in Milton, Florida. So I stayed in there 12 years. So all total, I have 24 years technically, but it's going to average out to be about 20 by the time the reserve time and all that time gets in. So at the age of 62, I appreciate you. At 62, I will get my retirement because I didn't retire active at that time. So after that, we said, well, what are we going to do? So we actually moved to Columbus, Georgia. Me and Shelly did. Couldn't find a job up in Maine that I wanted to because that's where I was at. So my reserve time started when I moved to Columbus, Georgia, and me and Shelly ran storage facilities.
Yeah, okay.
So self-storage facilities. So what I did is Shelly would run the office. We actually had a place to live right there. They gave us an apartment and a nice one. And then I would do all the maintenance around the facility. Plus, I also had a couple of jobs. I was also a merchandiser for Hasbro toy company at that time. So I would go around to the Walmarts and Kmarts and different stores and set up displays and things like that. I was also a rep for a book company. And then I also worked part-time, believe it or not, back then with FedEx at the terminal there unloading trucks. So that's what I would do for a couple hours. So all my part-time jobs became full-time jobs, really. So I was always busy. Then we got a great offer from a great owner, and we moved up to Augusta, Georgia, just right up the road from Columbus. And we managed about 3 storage facilities right there in Augusta, Georgia. And that worked out for us pretty well. And then we just sort of got tired of the storage business, and we said, man, we want to go back to Florida. Her dad wasn't doing too good. Her mom wasn't doing too good. Back in '86, when I was here, they moved out here to Lottie from Jacksonville, and I bought the piece of property that's sitting right in front of their land now. That's where Bart lives now. They actually lived where Shelly's mom and dad used to live, right behind me. So I bought that piece of property. I put me a double-wide mobile home on it, cleared it up, and that's where I have been since about 1999. But let me go back real quick. I actually had a stint here in 1992. This was just right after you boys graduated, 93, excuse me, when I got out. I actually come and lived here for a little bit off of 16 right there, and y'all probably know the house. It's right past, when you go past the Mormon church and you're going out, over to the left, there's a line of houses right there. There's a red brick home that sits right over here. Me and Shelly rented that for a while and worked for a company called Lady Renee Industries. And what it did is I serviced beauty and barber products.
Yeah, okay.
So I would just go around sort of like you do with going to different areas and providing beauty and barber supplies for all these beauty. Yes.
Come to my shop and try to sell me a pair of scissors.
Well, did I do that one time? Maybe. That was a long time ago, Dave. Shoot, I can't remember anything. But and actually before that, So actually, before that job, me and Byron's talk, I forgot about this. So many jobs, and you see how those go. I actually work for In-Home Medical.
Yep.
I actually work for In-Home Medical. Do you know Mr. Willingham, Larry Willingham? He does.
I do. I
Yeah.
know Larry.
Anyway,
I know Larry really well.
Yeah,
Larry's a good guy.
he was my manager, and I worked starting filling oxygen bottles. Same type of business that Byron's in. Started filling oxygen bottles, and then I started doing what Byron's doing, going and making deliveries and things like that. And then that's when I went over to Lady Renee Industries and started doing that. And then I moved away for a while. Probably one of the biggest mistakes I ever made, even though it sounds good. My brother-in-law called me up in Fayetteville, North Carolina, and says, man, I got a great deal. Hey, we can run a convenience store. We can own a convenience store. I was like, really? Okay. What's the investment? 10 grand. Okay, let's do it. So I get up there, Fort Bragg, right down the road, 3 miles down from Fort Bragg. So we open this store up, and believe it or not, that is the first time that I ever smoked. I did not smoke till I was 33 years old. Isn't that crazy? You know why I picked it up? Because it was there, working all those long hours. Man, it was just boring. So I was like, yeah, let me try a cigarette. Try one, becomes 3,
It becomes
3
10.
becomes 8, becomes 10, becomes now getting packs.
I have it.
So I haven't really been smoking long. I didn't smoke until, like I said, I was 33 years old, and that's crazy. So anyway, that didn't work out very, very good because we were all fighting about hours, who's going to stay there. 12 and 16-hour days just wasn't working. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to come on back. And then that's when I got this place and came on back and then just started getting involved with the Bradford community, starting with the band and some things like that. And the rest is history. I've been here ever since. Met Kevin and Donald there during the time. And we got to be good friends. Lost touch there for a little bit. Got to come back and do that. And I got to meet all the rest of you guys. And, this community embraces you. If you get out and do things, this community will embrace you. And I tell you, it's one of those things that, you don't really know what's going to happen. You know what I mean? You don't know how people's going to perceive you and things like that. So I started getting involved. And then I would go into restaurants when we worked out at the New Millennium out there. I mean, New Millennium, CMC Joist and SMI Joist. Mm-hmm. I started going out to lunch, and everybody go, "That's David." You know what I mean? That's David or whatever. And I'm like, what? How do they know me? Because of some of the things that I did. You don't have to say what you do. You don't have to say what you do. People see it.
People see it.
People see it. Everybody's like, man, that's that guy that hustles out there and helps the band out, or helps the track team out, or whatever. And I got to be known that way. And then that's how I wound up being the voice of the Tornadoes. I got to be close with everybody, got to know Chuck, got to do some things with Chuck. We did the wrestling thing. All those things tie in, the DJing, all that stuff tied in. And then that's how I got to be the voice of the Tornadoes. I mean, that just doesn't happen because it happens. You know what I mean? You got to be known. And Terry and Chuck come and ask me if I wanted to do that. And the schedule allowed me to do that. So the rest is history.
It wouldn't work if you were the kind of person to go from town to town to another town to another
But
town.
I did, and that's what I'm trying to tell it. But I did. I was a job, but I mean, it was there. I mean, of course, I job hopped. There was no doubt about it. I mean, think about what I just.
I mean, like move in Miami and then move in Stark and then move in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Yeah.
If you're in one place for 30 years, man, you become part of the community.
Well, and that's exactly right. I don't think, and I think what you're trying to say, and that's a very good point that you brought up, because me and Shelley talked about this quite a bit. I don't think I was trying to find my niche.
Yeah.
I didn't know what my niche was going to be. Yes, I could have took that flight engineer stuff and went to school and probably became a pilot or a flight engineer on an air, on a major airline. I don't know. It just wasn't my niche. You know what I mean? I had to find my niche. And when I came here, I still didn't know what my niche was. And then when I got hired on at the steel plant, and got to be in there doing, being a production scheduling manager and a customer service manager, I knew that was my niche. You know what I mean? I'm a people person first and foremost. I've always said this. I think all these guys know that. I'm a people's person first and foremost. I would give you the shirt off my back if I could. I'll do anything, just like any of you guys. I already know it. All you guys, y'all are the same way. I would give you the shirt off my back if I can, and I'll do anything to help you. And that's the way I want to perceive myself. Have I goofed up and messed up in my lifetime? Absolutely. I am not perfect. And we were talking about casting stones at a glass house. I'm not going to do that. Because I'm going to tell you what, there's stuff in all of our closets that we want to keep there. And if you start casting stones at a glass house, guess what that comes up and does? Poof, it hits you right back in the face. You know what I'm saying? So I try not to do that. Yes.
There was only one perfect person that walked earth.
Yes, sir. And that's exactly right. And we talked about him tonight, didn't we, when we said our prayer?
That's right.
So it's just one of those things. Like I said, I'm not perfect. I goof up each and every day. Hey, I've done some things that I'm not proud of. For sure. I'm not going to get into any of those because that's my stuff. But I can tell you this. I'm not perfect, but I try to do the best that we can. And that's why we're doing this show. We try to do the best we can to bring the information and all the things that we know to you guys. Right. So maybe you can take what we do and implement it into your lives and see if it works. And that's all it's all about. So, like I said, I've been here over 20 years now, right about 20 years, and love each and every minute of it. I tell Dwight and Byron when we hang out, or Mitchell, I said, man, I hear the stories sometimes, and I go, man, I feel like I went to high school here. I said, I may have heard this story over here. Now I'm hearing it here, and it's like everybody's sort of intertwined. Mm-hmm. And this community is so tight knit that I know it's pretty funny, isn't it?
Oh goodness!
This community is so tight knit, like you were saying, Byron. If you get in here and you get to be in that, I don't want to say the clique, but if you just get in here and do the things that you need to do and help your community out, the people will embrace you. And my hometown will always be Pascagoula, Mississippi. There's no doubt. That's where I grew up. That's where I did my high school stuff. But now this is the second part of my life. This is where my home is now. And I know, Renee, you're listening. I know you still live in Pascagoula, Mississippi, and a lot of my friends do. And that's okay. That's good, because I'm sure y'all are doing great things there. I know some of the stuff that you do there, and y'all are doing great things there. But this is my home now. We're trying to do great things here. And again, I don't forget my roots. But right now, if there was something that happened to me today, and I'm going to be buried here in Bradford County. This is my home, and it's going to be from here out, unless just something drastic happens. You know what I mean? It has to be very drastic. I've got a lot of friends here. These are my friends. This is my family. These aren't my friends. This is my family here. Everybody included on the show, from Byron Bagwell to Mitchell Gunner to Dave Holland to one of our great listeners, Mr. Dwight Allen, to Michael Heater, to John Probst, to Roger Cruz, to Austin Stevens. Everybody, y'all are my family. Y'all are my brothers and sisters, and that's the way I perceive it. And I say that from the heart. I just don't say that because I want to say it. I say that because it's true, and I mean everything that I say. And I want you to know that I love each and every one of you. And like I said, I would do anything in the world for you, just like I know these gentlemen would. And, it sort of brings tears to my eyes a little bit because, you don't get the opportunities that I get. I'm not rich. By no means am I poor, though. And I work hard each and every day, just like all you gentlemen do, and just like what we're supposed to do as citizens of our city, of our county, and of our great country. You should go out there and work hard each and every day, and I hope you do the same things. I hope we instill that in you. And look, if you need help, I understand that. If you're giving it 1,000% and you need help, hey, by all means, you should get help. There's no doubt about it. But again, I mean it. That's my background. That's just me. I've got a big heart. So like I said, sometimes, hey, man, like I said, I've goofed up and make many mistakes. And I say it, and I'll continue to say it. I'll tell you if I did. Hey, man, I made a mistake, brother. Sure. You know what I mean? And you know what we do? David, that's right. Let's move on. Let's go to the next one.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I've heard you guys tell me that. So that's my story. I know it was a little bit long-winded, but I wanted y'all to know that. Some of these guys didn't know my middle name was Albert.
I didn't know his middle name was Albert.
You knew some of my story. Mitchell knew some of my story, but that's my story, and I hope everybody's got a little bit more knowledge of me now and where I came from, what my history is, what my background is, military background. Like I said, back in the day, you wouldn't have wanted to know me. I'm telling you, back in high school, I'll use the word, excuse me, Dave, bleep, I was a real ass. I'm going to be honest with you. I was a real ass. There was no doubt about it. I thought I was God's gift to women. I would fight you over anything. I really didn't like people, to be honest with you, really. That's just the honest truth. I'm just being honest. I didn't like.
See, I can't see that at all now.
Yeah, you can't see it, but you can't see that because you know what? It took one incident that maybe I'll get into one day. You know the incident that I'm talking about when I was in the military at boot camp that changed my way of thinking about everything.
Sure it did.
One incident and one word, and the wrong person heard that. And I could have easily quit. And I'll get into that story. I don't want to get into it tonight, but I will get into that story at some point. I don't know if Dwight knows it. Maybe I did tell him a little bit of it.
I don't know.
Do you know about the story about when I got cycled in boot camp? I don't know. Did you know that, Mitchell?
I didn't know.
Okay. Well, anyway, I will tell that story at another time. But did you want it tonight? Okay. All right. I'm going to give it to you tonight. Okay. Let me give it to you tonight. Okay. When I say this, I don't mean to use this word ugly at all. You know what I'm saying? I know. I am going to be careful with that because, and I'll abbreviate it.
Yeah.
I'll abbreviate
that word.
So anyway, I come in there, like I told you, with my long hair. I thought I was cocky. So anyway, I come in there. It fit, though. I was 6 foot, probably about 160, 165 pounds. I was slim, but I was fit. I could run like the wind, buddy. So they made me the athletic petty officer in boot camp. So anyway, I was in charge, and Dave will tell you right here, I'm not telling you anything. I'm not making any stories up. I was in charge of all of our physical fitness. Everybody had to make sure they passed. When we went on a run, if I was leading a run, Dave, what would I have to do? I had to go back and get that last man. I'd have to run all the way back and push that last man to get across the line. Yeah. Because why? We wanted that athletic flag, and we wanted that Cheerio flag. So anyway, this one guy, his name is Lewis. Good friends with him now. He's from Alabama. Well, the gentleman was black. And one day we was up in our room there in our bunks, and it was just a little after lunch. And I don't know what actually really started, but it came to where I was like, well, I'm tired of going to get your ass every time on a run because you're holding up everybody else. Well, anyway, Lewis called me a cracker. Well, knowing David Rodgers and his views at that time, you know what I called him? Okay, the N-word. And I don't use that word anymore. I called him the N-word. Well, as I called him the N-word, and everybody thought we was going to have a fight there, my company commanders come in. Well, my company commander, the head one, was black. Oh. And he heard me. And of course, who does everybody get? The retaliator. They don't hear the first part. So David Rodgers gets to go down to Division Sidewalk with every company commander around, and they cycled the pee out of me.
Okay,
and I'm going to explain cycling, and I'm going to tell what cycle is. David knows what cycle is, and you know now. Cycling means they exercised your tail off. I'm talking from push-ups, sit-ups, 6 inches. The water flood, the kicks. You name it, and I had to do it. 8-count bodybuilders, a duck walk. I had to sit there and hold my arms up over my head, and if my arms dropped any, I was done. And as they were doing that, they were in my face going, Rodgers, you want to quit? You're a racist, aren't you? Am I not lying, David? They'll get right up in your face and spit right in your face. Yeah. Brother, I'm going to be honest with you. I was that close to quitting. I almost did it. I did. And then something clicked. I don't know if it was the good Lord or if it was just something clicked, and I said, you know what? They ain't defeating me. And everybody watches you, don't they, Dave? Everybody's lined up because everything stops. Because you're down there getting cycled by 12 chiefs and 6 first class and everybody else that they could find, and everybody's in your face. But everything stops and everybody's watching you, right? They're down looking down there, seeing what the heck's going on. 2.5 hours, almost 3 hours of cycling in the middle of June. David, my dungarees were soaking wet. I was dripping sweat. My hair was wet. It was like I just got out of the shower. And I made it through there.
Heat exhaustion.
Well, they made sure they gave me a little water.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you right now, I almost quit. I did. I was this close. And if I would have quit, none of this would be happening with me. But I was that close from quitting, and something told me not to. And from then on, I got the respect out of my company and everybody in our whole division. It was like I was a different person. Lewis actually come up to me, and he said, man, I'm sorry. He apologized to me.
Yeah.
And then, you know what I said? I said, you know what? I said, I'm sorry too. And I'm still good friends with him now. I said, I'm sorry too. And it changed me as a person that day. That day is the one day that changed me. That one day was the one day that changed my whole life and how I looked at people.
Wow.
And from then on, I look at people differently, because I'm telling you, back in the day, I wouldn't be afraid to fight anybody. I'm telling you, black, white, Hispanic, it didn't matter to me. I'd fight you just for looking at me. I just didn't pretty much like people. You goofed up on the football field, I'd slap you in the helmet. It didn't matter. We'd all be in a ruckus. Oh yeah, it didn't matter. But and Dwight's probably going, man, Dave, I just didn't see that in you. I just couldn't see that in you, brother. But it was. But that day changed me, and now that's the person that I've become, and that's the way I try to live my life, man. And I know you guys are the same way. So, like I said, we've all goofed up, we've all made mistakes, and that's some of the skeletons that came out of my closet. I mean, I don't tell that story to too many people because I don't like using that word anymore. You know what I mean? That word is, to me, is null and void. I don't think anybody's that way. I mean, I know there's people that way. I'm just not that way anymore. I try to treat people like I would want to be treated. Mm-hmm. And if I don't do that, I want you to call me out on it.
Yeah, character, not your skin color.
That's exactly right. And call me out on it, because I tell you, constructor, hey, you call me out on it. And if I said something here that offended you, hey, I'm sorry about that. Hey, just let me know. And like I said, I didn't mean to. I'm just trying to tell you a story, and I'm trying to tell you my story. So, but anyway, that's my story, brothers. I hope, like I said, I didn't want to take that much time on it. I know Saturday is a pretty wide open show, but I want to do that with everybody. I want everybody to tell their story. And Byron or Mitchell or whoever will be next, and they can give you a bio of their story. Sure. I know there's some interesting things that Mr. Bagwell has done that I really appreciate. I appreciate his love in music, and he'll tell you all about that. And he went to school about that. Mr. Mitchell Gunner's passion with cars. I like that. Mr. Holland, he's got probably some service stories that he can tell you, and some things where he's from. But we're all going to do that, and sure. That's my story. And hey, it is what it is. So I'm here with you guys now, and I'm glad to be here. Y'all are my family, and we got some bigger and better things coming up here with On the Spot that we can't even talk about right now, that we're hoping is going to come to fruition for us. Let's see what happens. So
yeah, you hurt my feelings tonight.
I did?
Yeah, with my stepson.
Oh, did I? Well, I didn't do that. I'm sorry. You need to get on Mr. Probst about that.
Stepson?
Yeah, Corey. Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't have even. I've called you a lot of different things.
David, you said you would do anything in the world for us.
Yes, sir.
Would you vote Democrat?
Except that. Okay, I got to retract that statement. I've got to retract that statement. Almost anything. Almost.
It's not the Democratic Party anymore.
No,
it's the Socialist Party.
But
if it's up to Bernie Sanders, it's not going to be either one of them. It's going to be the Communist Party.
Let's see some of the comments, David. I guess everybody's wanting to ask me about some of the things Byron.
Oh my
But
God.
Dwight was.
You have opened a can
I
of worms.
probably
now.
have. New homework. I am wearing a Roman centurion helmet, but what's his name? David Kilgore. Thank you. Dwight just figures. Dwight, you knew you were in trouble, right?
She asked where was hers. I said Byron ate them.
Oh boy.
You see, now I'm seeing your comments on my phone, but I'm not seeing it up here.
I'm not seeing it up there either.
It's
I don't
really
know
weird.
what's going on there. Yeah. Okay, Austin's from Gainesville. So we got a variety of people from different areas, and we're all going to give our bios. That was mine. I figured I'd give that, and maybe why don't you do yours on Tuesday? Can you do that and give you a little write up, give you a little time to write it up and everything?
I don't have to write it up.
You can tell it, right? Why don't you do yours on Tuesday? Okay. Byron, you do yours next Saturday.
You can do that.
Okay, and then Dave,
you
can do yours the following Tuesday, and we'll just keep going. Kevin Jordan, there you go, from Stark living in Tennessee. See, there's Bert Eddie McGee, class of '81 BHS, a class of '80 of Pascagoula, Mississippi. Eddie, so we're about the same age.
I think Burton. I think he said he was actually in Nashville or Mount Juliet. One of the two.
Yeah, I think he did say that. We talked about this, didn't we?
About that, I believe. Yeah.
I believe we did. Ironically, I wanted to wear a top hat, but I still can't afford it. Mark Turgeon, cool. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate that. It's just a little story of mine. Like I said, some people knew me, but they just didn't know my background. I checked the canal at some point in time. What?
He's talking about the Panama Canal.
Yeah. Vincent Tucker, hey, class of '88, brother, Pascagoula, Mississippi. Good evening, Vincent Tucker.
Good evening.
You should have seen Byron with his long curly black hair. I have, Miss Bagwell. I've seen a picture, and you know what? Mine and Byron's hair almost looked about the same. I'm going to have to pull out some old pictures and show you guys. The problem was my mom and dad kept a lot of those pictures, and unfortunately, I wish they would have done this. And you can ask my sister Sharon. Have y'all ever met my sister Sharon? You have, haven't you?
I don't know.
Oh, my God, my beautiful sister Sharon. Oh, my God, y'all will fall in love with her. That's for sure. But we'll talk about that another time. But anyway, she has a few pictures. But unfortunately, when Katrina came there in 2005, wiped out everything that they had because they had 4.5 foot of water, 2 miles in, 4.5 foot of water in their home. Oh, and it ruined all those pictures and all those old Polaroids and everything that we had is pretty much gone. But we do have some things, and I wish at that time they would have put them on the computer or done something. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And God rest her soul. My mom is dead now. God rest her soul. I'm sure she probably just wasn't thinking, but a lot of those old photographs are gone. But we do have some things that I can share with you for sure. And I know there's one with me and my little brother. We're 11 years apart, where I was graduating high school and he was graduating kindergarten. That's pretty cool. So I'll have to show you that picture with the long black hair. I actually had a cyst on my face at that time. That I didn't get removed until I was in the service. So I had a cyst on the left side. If you can see the scar a little bit, I forgot which side it was. But anyway, there was a cyst on the side of my face about the size of a golf ball. Now, I don't know why I didn't get that removed a long time ago before even the service.
Before it started.
But anyway.
There's pictures on my Facebook profile if you look in my pictures.
Right.
On here.
I wanted to see Madrid knowing you'd love it. And yes, go ahead and say it. Sevilla, yes. Normandy, I wanted to visit. I didn't get a chance to go right at Normandy, but yes, absolutely, would be perfect to do that. Hi, David. Love my steak and shake. We love you. Well, brother, I love you, Jeff. I work with Jeff. We'll have to get some steak and shake, brother. That's for sure. We've talked about going over to Steak and Shake a time or so. So thank you, Austin. It is an interesting story. Kevin knows some of the story as well. I really like that shirt. Yours, Byron, for sure. Absolutely. Clinton David, thank you. Hey, David, I give your show a shout out on my show Wednesday nights. Well, how about let me do the same for you? Make sure you join Clinton David on his show, NASCAR. Big NASCAR guys. They dress up in the NASCAR gear.
Really?
Yes, man. And I'm telling you.
Really?
Oh, interesting. We're going to have those guys come on our show one day. Yeah. And if I'd have thought about it tonight before Daytona, I should have had him come in tonight. I should have had him come in tonight. But he's in Daytona. I knew that's where he's coming from. So the Chaser, yes. So maybe next in the next week or so, Clinton, we'll have you come on.
By the way, when's this show?
This show's on Wednesdays.
Who won?
Yeah, 7 o'clock.
Does anybody know who won the Xfinity today?
Do you know
The
who won?
Xfinity race?
Do you know?
I think that was today.
Yeah, it was today. I was watching part of it, but I didn't catch the end of it because I had to get ready to come here.
Yeah. But anyway, thank you, Clinton, and we're gonna give the same for you, and we'll get together about a show.
Sports.
Yeah,
I'll look it up.
yeah, that'll be fine. Anthony Black, you guys are doing great things for the people of Bradford and everybody else.
Thank you.
Anthony, Tony Black, we appreciate it. You know Tony David. He used to do our wrestling with us and stuff. Thank you, Tony. He lives now in Tallahassee. We're trying to get the whole region, brother, and we're going to try to get some new stories over there as well. These guys are very interesting. These guys do their homework. These are the backbone of the show right here. These guys, they've got the information on this general area here. I like Jeff Gordon. I don't know if you guys did. I'm going to be honest with you. I did.
I was a Greg Biffle fan.
Yeah, I know you
Ricky
liked
Rudd.
Little League. You liked Little League too, didn't you? Miggy?
Did like Little League till he pissed me off.
Okay. Yeah. Well,
To be honest with you, Darrell Waltrip was my driver. And I always was. And then after he retired, I actually started following his brother, Michael. And I know.
Yeah. Let me get a drink of this Coke.
Yeah, whatever. And then I started following Carl Edwards. It just seems like I can't keep a driver. They all keep on retiring. So I don't know who I'm following now.
I always liked Greg Biffle. Greg Biffle came very close to winning a championship a couple times. And,
Yes, did. Great driver.
he won the Truck Series. Turned around and won what was used to be a Busch Series, I think it was. He won a Busch Series, and then he came up short a couple times. One time to Tony Stewart by 3 points at the end of the season, and that kind of really stunk.
I like Old Smoke.
He was a good driver, too.
I liked his attitude until they made him clean it up.
Barbie Crawford? Yes, I did. I knew you 20 years ago. And, we've come a long way since then. I know I've told you a little bit about my story there. Some people know some bits and pieces, but I knew Barbie 20 years ago. And Barbie used to work for me when we was out at CMC and SMI. Great worker, great person. And Barbie, I love you. I know you and Robbie's got a great thing going. And I wish you success and continued success as well. And I mean that from my heart and from these guys too, for sure. So you've been a great person.
As you don't get to work the auger anymore. That's just
We may want to leave that one alone.
Leave the auger alone. And Rob, you're a brave person.
Dave Holland Jr.'s on. Thank you, David. Vincent Tucker, yes, they did smoke me. They smoked the mess out of me. You're military. You was in ROTC. Dave knows the term. Yes, they smoked the mess out of me, brother. And I'm going to tell you what, probably some of the worst exercise I've ever had. But again, it turned me to be the better, as Mr. Black just said here, made you a better person and learn a lesson, and you're a great person now. I appreciate that. I appreciate it. Yeah, it has. It's changed me quite a bit. That one incident did it. You that level of badass. Well, Mark, I'm gonna be honest with you. There's always somebody badder than you.
Oh yeah.
But my thing is I didn't care. So did I use the word ass whippings? Absolutely, I did. Oh yeah, there was some guys that whipped the dog mess out of me. But you know what? I wasn't scared and didn't care. That was the problem. So I won my share of them. I'm not that kind of a badass, I can tell you that. So we'll leave that one alone. Our platoon had all the banners on our guide on during boot camp. It was an honor to display those banners in front of all the other platoons, and that's exactly what I was talking about. After that, brother, I didn't mind going to get Lewis after all that happened because Lewis just wasn't a runner. He just didn't get it. He couldn't run. He could not run. But you know what I did? I was right there beside him, and I pushed him. I said, come on, man. I said, come on. And he says, David, I know you had to run back. And this is how we got. He says, I know you had to run back to get me. Almost a half a mile. I said, it doesn't matter. I don't care if we get that flag or not. We're going to finish. And that's the way I put it. And guess what? We finished. He got up to Mustard somewhere and ran. And he started outrunning me. And I just kept pushing and put my hand on his back, kept pushing. And we got that flag. Encouragement, man. Right. And that's what you're supposed to do. And that's exactly right. Miss Shirley, anytime. You probably didn't know my background either. I really appreciate that. And all these guys are going to give their background. I just happen to know mine, and I wanted to go ahead and do mine on a Saturday night where we have a little fun here. So that word don't refer to color for lots of people. It refers to a state of mind. Lazy, no count, list types, and they come in all colors. Well, yes, they do. But unfortunately for me, Renee, you know, we grew up in the deep South. Unfortunately for me, when I went and said that, I just happened to be talking to a, yeah, anyway. So that's what I got. So Jeff Riggins, yes, what is that? What do you say? What is that? One? All right.
Yeah, I don't know what that.
I don't know what that is. Jeff, what is that? Get that grin off your face, Bond bag. You know what? I love our audience. I love our viewers, man, because you know what? Yep. See, all y'all got knows these guys. See, y'all may not know me as well, you know, but I'm getting to know you guys. You may not know Dave Holland, but y'all know these guys. And I can get back with y'all on some of this stuff because some of these guys know you, and I can get what they're getting at. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, Michelle Lynn Blanton, your hair looks good, Mitchell. There you go, Mitchell. How about that?
That's from being out in the sun for probably about 8 hours today at the track in the wind.
Yeah, a little red.
Yeah, a little color there.
The sun, the wind. A little burn on both accounts by the wind and the sun.
That's
we
right.
Have a wind about 18 miles an hour a couple of times out there.
Jeff Riggins, I love you too, brother. I really do, man. There's no doubt about it. We talk all the time, and I really do. Look at Bert there, West Tennessee on the Kentucky Lake.
Yeah, and we need to make a trip up there.
Yes, we do.
Really
yes, we do.
Lake to fish.
Yes, we do. Maybe Bert will give us an invite.
I was talking about your shirt a while ago. Yeah.
Oh, he's talking about my shirt. Oh, okay. Oh, David, your shirt. You said you would give the shirt off your back. Well, I really like that shirt. Only my old classmates back there, right? Oh, okay. No problem. I'll send it right to you, brother. You got it, man. And I'll make sure these guys make sure I send it.
I like my shirt, but I have to turn around and show everybody what it says.
Yeah, there you go. Turn around. Let's see. My family tree. Look at there. Racing right there.
Racing live.
NASCAR gear with capes. They look cool. Absolutely. Yep, you're right there. Anyway, guys, thank you for all the comments. Thank you for tuning in. I know I was a little long-winded on that bio, but, you know, after 58 years, you've had a lot of things happen in your lifetime, Dave. And, you know, sometimes you forget and some things just don't go in order. But you start recollecting things and start thinking about things. And, I skipped a few steps, went back and forth, but I tried to get everything. That's about everything that I could think of. And, you know, there's a lot of things. I didn't go into every little detail of every little thing. If we was to do that, you might as well leave this show on all night. Because I can tell you what happened in Perth, Australia. I can tell you what happened here. I can tell you what happened there. I can tell you what happened in the guy. Man, it's not all about that. So yeah. Oh, yeah.
We're going to leave some of those stories.
No, we want to hear about some of them.
I'm going to keep what reputation I have left. I'm going to tell you that.
Buddy, I took up a lot of the time on the show here, but I thought that y'all needed to know that. And when somebody asked me something and somebody asked you something, we try to do it.
Right.
And somebody said that, and I said, I felt compelled I needed to do that. And I feel compelled that we all need to do that. So maybe you can give your bio, like I said, on Tuesday night.
Sure. I'll try to make it short. Not too long.
Not too long. Okay. And like I said, you tell everybody where you're from. That's sort of the idea, you know, the way I sort of did it right there. Maybe not as long-winded as that one, but, you know, maybe while you're doing your local and when Byron's doing his deal, he can, before he does his deal, he can tell about himself on the following Saturday night.
Sure.
I think it's interesting for people's background. I think because a lot of people don't know us. I don't know some of those people. Some of those people know you. Some of those people know me and don't know you. You know what I mean? And I just think it makes a good camaraderie between us and our viewers here. And it just gets to let you know about our background a little bit. Like I said, We're not hiding anything in our anything here. We want to tell you all about us, and like I said, have we all done stupid stuff? Absolutely, and we're going to keep. I did something stupid today. We all do it. We all make mistakes. But at the end of the day, we're well-grounded guys. We love you, or we wouldn't do this, right? We love you guys, or we wouldn't. Why would we do this? We're doing this? No. Is there game? Possibly. But we do this because we love to do this. We love to come to you guys each and every week, twice a week, and give you what we know from the local stuff, from the national to the sports to everything that we can think of. We try to give it to you, and we try to give it to you first, and we try to give it to you as thoroughly as we can.
As we can.
Yeah, and that's it.
Yeah, we actually all like to run our mouths too.
Yeah.
And that helps matters quite a bit because we all like to talk.
Come on up, Bert said. Come on up, okay? We're going to take you up on that, brother. We would love to come up.
Better get some crankbait.
Yeah. Hey, Roy, how you doing, man? I hope you're feeling better. I know Roy's been in. Yeah, Roy Jackson, thank you. Dave pushed me, and I became a better person. I have a great job and a beautiful wife and 4 great kids, and that is thanks to David Rodgers, my brother. Well, man, Tony, I appreciate that. Wow. You don't even realize when you do something.
When people start doing stuff like what he did, that is a great feeling.
I didn't know. I know Tony, and I did, but you don't never know who you touch.
You don't.
You don't never know
they
who you
let
touch.
you know.
And that right there almost brings everybody. I didn't know.
Well,
Tony, I mean, yes, I know I pushed you and I told you some things that you probably didn't want to hear and you didn't. But, at the end of the day, that testimony right there, I'll make sure I remember that testimony for the rest of my life right there.
Oh, goodness.
So we're going to tell some junior high band stories when y'all in Gula. Oh, boy. Yes, we are. Oh, my goodness. Here we go.
Renee, you're not going to surprise me by much because I was a junior high band school.
Yeah.
I've heard just about everything you could possibly do. And matter of fact, this is me actually in middle school band, by the way. That is.
Oh, wait a minute! How can we see this, Dave? What can we do? His face is whited out there.
Yeah.
That is me in 8th grade, and then it's not going to pick it up very well.
Oh man!
Me and baritone saxophone.
There you go.
The instrument was bigger than I was.
Let me tell you something though. But by doing that, he became a band teacher. Taught here 1 year, and he'll tell you the story. I don't even have to tell you. He's very musically inclined. He loved teaching. Right now, if things would have worked out perfectly, I'd be talking to Byron as a 22, 23-year band teacher right here at the same place.
It would be 20 years. I started in Bradford Middle School in 1999, and taught there for 1 year. And then some unfortunate business happened with the school board, and they decided they did not need the Bradford County Middle School band director's position anymore. They were going to make the high school director teach both of them. So I ended up leaving Bradford County.
Yeah. And we get, and I'm sure and that's an unfortunate thing because I know your passion and I know you now. It is important for all you to do that. Miss Bagwell, I surely agree. Miss Shirley, I agree. We all need to do that.
Do what?
So
give our bios?
Yeah.
Oh Lord.
Yeah. Your mom even says that. I actually know your wife, Mr. David, back at 2014 at Bradford High School. You know what, Noah? Still's there.
Still is there.
Miss Shelley Rogers is still there. She's working. She's the data entry clerk. She probably was same as when you were there. All the students love her, and she loves all the students. And one thing I can say about Shelley, no matter what kind of issues we have or whatever, Miss Shelley Rogers loves her students, and they love her. All I hear is Miss Rogers this, Miss Rogers that, Miss Rogers takes care of it, Miss Rogers giving kids love. She's done all kinds of stuff. You know what I mean? But that's her, and that's her way. So absolutely. Thanks to Michael, I'm now part of the most wonderful team in North Florida. On the spot is my roots. Thumbs up from us. You guys need to come to Tallahassee. We will.
God's country calls.
Hey, we are, and me and Byron has already talked. I don't know if we can talk Mitchell into it. I think the blue and orange game is going to be that same day, so he's probably not want to go. You probably want to go over there, don't you? Watch Florida
What day's
spring
that?
game. That's on April the 3rd. What did we say? The 25th. Back up. 18th.
18th.
18th. April 18th.
We may be gone. Isn't that in the same week of spring break for the Bradford High School?
For Bradford School I think so.
We'll probably be in St. Augustine.
Yeah. So we are going to come to Tallahassee because me and Byron want to come see what Norvell is all about. And oh, brother.
That's a great one.
That's a great one right here.
A really great one.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, right here.
The guy in the Hard Rock
T-shirt.
T-shirt. Yes.
Yeah. And you know who the guy is next to him?
I know who it is.
Who is it?
It's not Dwight.
No, it's not. Who is that?
It's Marty Johnson.
Yep. Does Marty come on our show? He does. I've seen him.
I think Marty does every once in a while.
Yeah. So how about that? There's Mr. Bagwell right there, ladies and gentlemen. Congratulations.
Turn that around again. Let me see this thing real quick.
Yeah, there you go. We are going to come to Tallahassee. We're going to have to come over there and watch a spring game and see what that's all about.
That's what I thought. That's the place that we
still
should
at my
never
parents' house.
Hampton.
Hey,
No, that wasn't Hampton. That was
Renee,
that
you
was in
still
a
got-
little bar somewhere we never should have been in.
Oh,
We were shooting pool tournaments.
yeah,
is what
still
we were
got-
doing.
yeah, of course. Yeah.
Well,
Man, you shoot pool
amongst-
tournaments every
amongst-
Saturday night, don't we?
amongst other things, but
Don't-
that's really what I went into that place.
There you go. Okay. Anyway, look at Renee. She says, my junior high saxophone's still at my parents' house. Small world. How about that? You still got your old saxophone there?
I do too. I've got mine at the
How
house.
about that? Look at there. Christopher Davis, what's going on there? Slice and Dice. We was just talking about him, Dwight. Just talking about Slice and Dice. Hey, right up the road there in Lawdy. Man, if you want anything that's good, you go up there and see that. Even Dwight.
Burrito, man.
Oh my God, man. And what's the other one you was the tin can? What was that? The tin can, is that what it is? That tin can. Yeah, you need to get that too. And he's got a little place. He bought that little
Restaurant.
the
Restaurant. Restaurant.
Yeah, and now it's a sitting area, and we're going to do a show from there to show all of our viewers that aren't here about Slice and Dice. And if everybody knows about Chris Davis, he also has a little lawn service as well. But he's trying to get this food thing kicked up really good. And I tell you right now,
Dwight Allen is giving Dave Holland
The play-by-play?
history of Byron's life back here with
yeah, the play-by-play. Yeah. So, Dave, how about that next comment right after Chris Davis there?
Was that the picture right?
Just closed
the
up. How's
Montezuma's
everybody doing
Revenge
tonight?
tournament?
Yes, we are.
Yeah. Oh Lord.
Yeah.
Oh Lord.
So,
Oh.
That was a rough tournament.
oh my
And I was
God.
playing catcher too, and we had just come back from Mexico, and it wasn't. Montezuma was not very nice to me.
Oh, well, I guess. Anyway, you can tell that story later. I've got on your bio. On your bio. Yeah. How about that? Throw a little something in there.
I'm sure everybody wants to hear how Dwight and his brother threw the keys to the
Anthony Black.
the keys to the motel room in the bottom of the pool,
Throughout
keeping
the
them
first
away
pitch.
from me. I was like, "Oh Lord, y'all are not right."
I'm not saying who threw out the first pitch. Is he talking about Mike Martin Sr.? You think from the
Probably so.
probably is what he was talking about, right? I guess he's talking about Slice and Dice, a great place to eat. Yes, it is, Gene. Absolutely, yes. I want to see that, Byron.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that would be good.
that would be good, wouldn't it?
Yes, it would.
Yes, it would.
Want to see what, Byron? Wait a minute.
Yeah, I
about
thought
something else.
yeah.
What are we wanting to see?
She wants to see that picture.
Mother, you have copies of this picture.
Yeah.
Mom, you got a copy of this picture. It's the one with me in those sunglasses and with the red and gray bands. I'm sitting on the balcony and Stark Junior stars. It was either Moultrie or what was the other?
It was Tipton.
Moultrie or Tipton. One of the two.
That was a Centurion.
Right after we come back from Mexico, when we first went to Mexico City and Acapulco and all that. No, Norvell did.
Norvell did. Oh, okay. Coach Norvell did. Okay, great. Okay. I wonder how he did. I want to work with Mr. Mitchell on local news by providing several historical events to see. All right. Hey, I'm sure Mitchell is willing up now.
Or maybe not. Show my mother
Yeah,
this picture.
let's say,
She's got this picture at the house.
Or maybe not. Click, 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 click. Exclamation point like out the yin yang.
Mother, if you don't have this one at the house, you can go on my Facebook page and pull this
I've
one
got
up.
the original at the house.
The White's got
Actually, Noah, we can actually talk about some of the streets and who they're named after, like one of the governors and how Bradford County got their name and Stark. We can get all into that.
That is really would be really important for this area because Bradford County, everybody knows Bradford County, but not a lot of people know that Union County used to be part of Bradford
That's
County.
correct.
Right.
Now that led up to being separated.
Yeah, we can get into all of that.
Yep.
Look at that good-looking kid.
That one. And
Who is that there?
I got to kick back like,
Oh. If y'all went on my page, Renee actually was involved in that. Y'all seen about Pascagoula, how they did that little deal about, did y'all see that? Did you watch that a little bit about Pascagoula on my page there? Where
Yes.
they did the video and stuff.
That was pretty cool.
It was.
Yeah, it was.
And maybe we can do something like that. We've got a great cameraman right here. We've got guys that can go around and doing this thing. Oh boy!
This is right before, before I graduated college. And
now,
Mom, you've got this picture.
Now, I want y'all to know that Mr. Dwight Allen, he's one of our biggest fans. He's one of the biggest guys. He's really part of the crew, really. Him and Byron are like brothers. They grew up together, and they've known each other a long time. Y'all met in second grade?
First or
second?
First grade.
There you go. There's Mr. Bagwell right there with that long, pretty hair right there with the guitar. There you go.
That was right before I graduated college. That was probably a year or two before I graduated college. I've got one of me in a tuxedo with my classical guitar and hair like that. So that
you know who he looks like? A younger version of Alice Cooper.
I'll take that. I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, I mean, no, it's good, man. Yeah, this is good. But I was going to say that, but something just drew me to Cooper right there on that one for some reason.
For some reason, people used to say John Travolta, and I never could see that.
Well, I can see it a little bit. Just some pictures there is, and you with Kevin Bacon, I can definitely see.
Kevin Bacon and John
you know who they
Travolta?
say? Hey, you remember Miami Vice?
Stunt doubles.
You remember Miami Vice? You remember the lieutenant on Miami Vice, Edward James Olmos? Yeah. That's who everybody says I look like at work. Hey, Lieutenant. Lieutenant, what are you talking about? Yeah, Lieutenant from Miami Vice.
I got to go. I got to step away for a second. I'm going to say something I don't need to say. And David now knows what I was going to say.
I know what you were going to say, and I better just no. Oh my God!
Ask later.
This show has just gone off the rails, ladies and gentlemen. But we've had fun tonight, and this is what it's all about. Really, it's about fun. We want to get of course, the meat and potatoes.
Right, we can go through.
Let's go with some meat and potatoes right here. Right here.
Actually, one of
and
the
then I want Byron to get into just a little bit of.
One of the things that took place today, Alachua County Hazardous Waste Department also worked with the Department of Environmental and our Bradford County Commissioners, and they had a drop-off spot right here at the courthouse this weekend. So if you had hazardous materials such as like paint and different stuff like that you can't take to a collection site and throw away, they actually done that here. And next weekend they're going to be doing the same thing in Baker County.
Oh. Okay.
So if you live over there in McClenny, they're going to have a drop-off spot over there next weekend for y'all to be able to do the same thing.
Okay. So they're good.
And I wish I wasn't racing today because I actually had a couple things that I could have took there today and got rid of. But I guess I'll just hold on to them for another year in the shed.
Better than throwing it in your yard, going into our water supply.
Exactly.
My daughter loaded up and brought some up here today.
Really? I'll be darned. So everybody's got a little something. There you go. Yeah. So if you got any toxic waste, just what Mitchell just said right there.
Right. And it was all free for all the residents, and same thing for those citizens over there in Baker County.
Right. And even though they they moved the collection site, you could still go onto their website.
That's correct.
Right.
Right. Go to Alachua County hazardwaste.us. So you can
Absolutely
and
excellent.
if you have problems finding it, you can actually go to Alachua County to their regular website, and you can find a link for it there off of their site.
Good deal.
Another thing I want to get into, since we're talking about collecting stuff, is our collection site on 21B and State Road 100 will be closed on the 25th and the 26th. Have plans to reopen it on February the 27th at 10 a.m. They're going to redo some the entrance and exits there and doing some other upgrades. So when you actually go to that collection site, you will actually drive on the backside around the cardboard dumpsters, come around, go up the ramps, and throw away your trash. Usually you would just drive right in, and brought this up, probably before the Christmas holiday,
Right.
to Jason Dodds, and he got Benny Jackson involved, and they went out there and looked at what I was talking about, and the county commissioners, they approved to upgrade and change the entrance and exits to that area. Definitely because it's a very dangerous intersection. Way 21B comes out there. They're kind of, it's not quite straight across,
No.
and it makes it very difficult. And we went out there and done a report with Tom Germano, that's also been very active in that area, working with FDOT. Some other changes that will be coming later on down the road. That area will have a blinking beacon, and the speed limit will be dropped to probably around 50 miles an hour instead of where it's at now at 60. And that's some really good things that are happening.
Yeah.
And I'm just glad that I can see these things, and I can come up with a plan to fix them, go to the right people that we have working for our county. And I thank them for sitting down with me and Tom Germano and letting us pitch this idea to let this happen.
Right.
I actually dropped off some trash there at the collection site on Friday, and the lady that works there, she came out and she's like, "Thank you so much, Mitchell. I really appreciate you and what you're doing, and how this is going to change how we do with traffic flow in and out of the collection site." Because I'm gonna tell you, there for a while, you can have a collision right in the collection site because you have people trying to leave and come out in the same area.
Right.
One of the improvements is, if you go by there now, you'll see that the gate's a whole lot longer.
Yeah.
And they're going to open that entrance and exit up a whole lot wider, so to make it a little bit more easy for you to kind of pull out there a little bit more. So you can see down the hill back toward Keystone,
Right.
and also see around that curb. And I tell you, I know it's a no passing zone. You're not supposed to pass on that curb, but we do have people who do not follow traffic laws, and they will pass on that curb anyway. So again, my
Back
hat goes off.
Let them do whatever they want to do, because
Yes.
they're going to get themselves killed, and you don't want to be involved with that.
No.
How many times I don't drive the speed limit. I normally drive about 5 over, to be honest with you. And
Yeah.
I've had people come flying around me.
Oh, sure. Where's the fire, right?
Right.
Oh, where?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah, the
that's
thing
not.
is,
That is not the quit.
No, that's not what you said. No.
What went through my head?
No.
the thing
But you're
is,
thinking, like, where's the fire?
they try to pass 20 or 30 vehicles at one time,
Oh yeah.
and then when you get up to the traffic light, you pull up right next to them.
Stop.
Yeah.
At
Yeah.
traffic light. So
they
you're
beat nothing.
really not getting that far ahead.
No.
But my hat goes off to our county commissioners and Jason Dodds and Benny Jackson for working on this and getting this fixed. Go ahead and give you some updates on 100 and 144th. Now it's on the project list. It's probably not going to get done anytime soon, but it is on the project list. They will be putting a flashing beacon above the intersection of 144th and 100, and there may be a possibility of dropping the speed limit down even lower than 45 there.
Good.
So I mean, it's not quite what we wanted. I wanted traffic signals there, but this is a step in the right direction. Maybe later on, if they get this in And later on, the school does get built behind ViStar.
Right.
That's the plan of the Bradford County School District. Maybe that utilities is already there. It'll make the transition probably a little bit easier to put poles in
Right.
for traffic signals. And also talked about Southwest 225
Right.
and State Road 16. And there's a flashing beacon there right now. But I believe the speed limit is still 60 miles an hour. So I talked to a gentleman over at FDOT. I've got to drive out there and see. And he said if that speed limit is still 60 miles an hour, I'm supposed to give him a call back early next week. And they're going to see about dropping the speed limit down to 50 to 45 right there.
Good.
So things are happening.
He's talking about the light up by the prison.
Right.
Yeah.
The caution light by the prison.
Right. Things are happening. Government's slow. It doesn't matter if
Doesn't matter, right?
What type of government, city, county, or state or federal. They have to go through different protocols, and their budgets they have to work with, and all that. So let's just be patient. And while we're being patient, let's pay attention to what we're doing out there on the roadway.
Yes.
We say it 100 times. Do not be operating a phone while you're driving.
Brother, I'm the world's worst.
If someone's got to text you, and you've got to text back, drive somewhere, get off the road in the parking lot, do your texting, then get back on the road.
Yeah.
And nowadays, more and more vehicles are coming out. I know my Charger does. Not only do I have Bluetooth,
Right.
but if a message comes across, I can hit the screen to listen,
Right.
and it'll read it to me.
Good.
So technology is getting a little better, but please put these things down.
And again, we preach it, and I'm telling you, you remember when I told you I do stupid stuff? I still do it. I've done it, and I'm trying to quit.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it's just so habity. You know what I mean? Byron will be, and then the next thing you know, what am I doing? So I do stupid stuff every day, and we're trying to fix it. You know what I mean?
Right.
We're trying to fix ourselves. So we're not perfect here. We do these same habits as well, but we're trying to get away from that. Just like you said, it's one of those things that it just takes time because, like you said, what do they say? It takes 21 days to break a habit. 21 days, is that the number number they give Byron or something like that? 21 days to break a habit. So I'm slowly but surely getting away from that. Sometimes what I'll just do is I'll just take the phone and turn it over to my car like that and just go, okay, if Byron's trying to call me, I'll call him back in a minute. Or Mitchell or whoever.
And I'm going to go ahead and tell you, if you know an area that is very prone to accidents, let me know. Hit me up on Messenger on Facebook. We'll look into the situation, if it's a county issue or if it's a FDOT issue.
Right.
And I don't have no problem helping.
Absolutely
I don't have no problem
not.
calling.
214 and 100.
214 and 100.
By the BP station, not by the Gizmo. That one is not that bad, but that area right there at 214 and 100 is terrible.
Yeah.
The speed limit's 50, and everybody gets going
60.
about 65, 70
Yeah.
by the time they get there, and people are trying to come out at 214.
Yeah.
And it's just there's been a bunch of accidents there. That area is not good.
Right. And that's actually in
Clay County.
Clay County.
It used to be a bar right there on the corner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Right.
said that. Yeah.
Right.
Wild
Wild
Elephant.
Elephant.
Yeah.
And the boat ramp.
Yes.
The boat ramp's still there, by the way, and the water's coming back to it.
Good.
Well, that's good news.
I'm going to go ahead and get into some events that are coming
Sure.
up.
Absolutely.
This coming Friday night, where you got the 5th anniversary of the Glow Run.
Okay.
I always get that tongue tied.
I know it.
That is coming up
I'm
at the firm for community and schools.
Okay.
Like I said before, if you purchased your entry fee early, I think the Kids Dash was $20, and for the 5K was $35. It's a real good event to raise money for community and schools. So if you ain't got anything to do Friday,
Hey.
go out there and watch. If you're not in shape, go
Yeah,
watch
go
it.
watch.
It's
Absolutely.
quite a neat thing to watch. Also coming up on February the 29th is the Bradford County Relay for Life car show. That's going to be at the Florida Cracker Restaurant. $15 to enter a car. If you are a vendor and want to take take and get you a spot. It's only $25. We're not looking for food vendors though this year.
Right.
So if you're selling any, like if you're an insurance company or you're running for office and you want to get your name out there, that gives you a great opportunity to be there. I've got a lot of people that's been interested in it. Hit me up. The door prizes and stuff are coming in through the mail. Our awards for the event is best of show, top 20, best Ford, Chevy, Mopar, and import, early bird, and club participation. So come on out there. Even if you don't have a car, come out and look at those who take the time and clean their rides up and bring them in. So
You got one right there, Mitchell. Can you answer Noah right there? We've scrolled down because it was right in this topic. And we'll go back. I'm sorry, lady. We'll go back and get your comments, but we wanted to get this one right here. Can we work on by the Hampton recycling traffic light at least?
He's talking about putting a traffic light, 18 and what is the name of that highway?
325?
It's the one that runs by Griffin. It's the
Is
one
it 325?
I think so, but I'm not sure.
Oh, you're talking about where you got the cutoff, the
Yeah.
little cutoff
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's talking about it off of 18,
Right.
not 301. I'm pretty sure.
Well,
there's
and
a
that
recycling place
and when you're coming out there to
It's
get on
30 miles per
18,
hour.
it's sometimes really hard to look back toward Hampton and see if traffic's coming.
that's
It's
the
really
plus side.
difficult just the way how that road comes out there. And that's actually, I think that's a county road. So
Yeah.
we'll see what we can
Yeah,
do.
that-
Well,
Absolutely.
It's horrible, but if you have people driving the speed limit or close to the speed limit like they should be, that one shouldn't be too bad because the
Right.
speed limit there is 30 miles per hour.
yeah,
Right.
It's just
by
an
the time
awkward
you get
way how
far
that.
off out where people's coming out of Hampton or coming out of that road through the lake. I
Right.
used to drive a truck for Griffin coming out there, and at one time I was almost halfway across the road before I could even see.
See it.
See it.
Yeah,
Right.
see
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
It's
The
the
angle was
visibility is really
It was
really bad there. So I'll look into it, Noah, and I appreciate you bringing that up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also coming up in March is Daytona Bike Week, and that'll run from March the 6th through the 15th.
Hey.
Also coming up real soon in March, we have the Baby Gators, which is the prelude to the Gator Nationals itself.
Right.
And that will be on March the 6th through the 8th. Majority of the time, they will finish that up on Saturday. Usually, sometimes it doesn't make it to Sunday. So if you wanted to go Sunday, please call the track. Make sure that it's going to carry over. And then the next following week, like I said, is the Gator Nationals. That will start on Thursday the 12th and will run through the 15th. So I've already got my tickets. Are you going to try to go with us this
We'll
year?
try to go this time.
All right. Well, I got real lucky. My wife told me, says, get on Groupon. They got some specials. I was like, specials on tickets? Yeah, yes, they got specials. Got on there, bought a Friday ticket for $25.
What?
And bought a Sunday ticket for $35.
No way.
Now, Friday's tickets are $47, and Sunday's tickets for spectators, I think, is $69.
I was just going to say, I knew it was up.
So I got
Dang,
two
no.
tickets for less than it was for one on Sunday. I still don't have my Saturday ticket, but I'll
That's all right.
plan
We'll
on
work on
buying
that.
that. But,
Well, Mitchell, you are so popular that I was at Dave's shop today, and Tish, the sales manager over there, comes out to me and she goes, "Hey, David, I love you. Come on in." So I went in, and Tish said for me to give you her card,
okay.
and she would like to, for you, she called you Blue Eyes, by the way. So I don't know what that's all about. But anyway, she said for you to call her because she would like for on the spot and you to do a car show in that parking lot right out there in front of Dave's shop in that area right there.
Okay.
She'd like to see if you could put on a car show. And she would like me to MC it too and would like for on the spot to be there. That's how popular that we're getting. People are coming up and asking us now. I didn't know what was going on. She had that little event going in front of her thing today. I guess that's the Cowboys sign up or something for the football.
Yeah,
For
Warner.
the Pop Warner football.
Okay.
She had going on there. She likes to plan her events ahead of time. But there you go, sir. She
All
told me to hand you that. Said, make sure. She says, I know Mitchell. She says, hand it to Blue Eyes. What does that mean? I don't know. I hope Nicole's not on here. But anyway, no, it's all good.
Tuesday?
So,
You want me to do it now or Tuesday?
Tuesday.
yeah,
Tuesday?
we'll get into this Tuesday. We want to get into some scams, ladies and gentlemen, on Tuesday. So we got a great show coming up there. Mr. Bagwell.
Yes, sir.
We've been going at it a while. I know we've been David Rodgers ran his mouth quite a bit tonight, but we've been going at it a little bit, but I want to give you an opportunity to get into a couple of little things that's been burning our tail up besides a flame that high.
Well, I wanted to talk a little bit tonight about what is going on right now with Bill Barr and our president, and the political stunt that's being pulled about impeaching Bill Barr.
Right.
Bill Barr is our attorney general, and one of our attorney general's jobs, not just Bill Barr, but every attorney general's job since the beginning of time, is to review judiciary cases and make suggestions about changes to judges,
right,
about things like sentencing, different guidelines and things like that. They do, the attorneys generals do that all the time.
right.
And now we're having this big blow up about Roger Stone. Okay. One of our guests just said it. He never should have been on trial in the first place. The whole entire thing was brought up through a fake dossier, through lawyers and the Hillary Clinton campaign and the DNC. It was all bought and paid for. The whole entire thing is a complete setup, but they tried this man anyway and found him guilty. Now he's in the sentencing phase. They want to give this man 7 to 9 years, and he's an older gentleman. He's probably going to die in prison if they do that. They want to give him 7 to 9 years for a process crime. I hope everybody knows this. There are people who have committed rape that are in prison less time than 7 to 9 years. There's also an FBI director by the name of Andrew McCabe who committed multiple crimes and is not being sentenced to anything. So you can go about saying we're going to impeach Bill Barr because he's trying to get this man's sentence lessened. First off, it's a suggestion. The judge doesn't have to do it. The judge can do what they want to. And my suggestion is that the judge does what she's talking about doing, is that she gets impeached. Because you don't give somebody 7 to 9 years for a process crime for made-up crap that another political party tried to pull to get rid of and usurp a president and basically usurp our form of government. Look, it's all nonsense. It's all political games. The only reason they're doing things like this is to cause a smokescreen to keep people from finding out what they've actually done to get it to this point. Now, that being said, there's some more stuff going on with General Flynn. He is now basically, he changed his plea bargain. He's not pleading guilty anymore. The man is an American hero. Served his country for years and years and years until he became a general and then became part of the president's cabinet. And then, through something called a perjury trap, he lied to Congress. Man can't remember every single thing. There is no one person that can remember every single thing they sent in an email. And he made a statement that he said one thing and he said another. So they basically railroaded him too. Now, that's changed. There's a whole bunch of things changing. And by the way, there are grand juries that have been convened on 4 or 5 different people I'm hearing from different sources that were involved with the Steele dossier. And I hope that before all this stuff comes out, before all of this stuff happens with Roger Stone and General Flynn, that this stuff comes out and people are indicted over it. Because if they are indicted over it, these people won't get prison sentences at all. Now, is Doug Stone the best not Doug Stone, that's a country singer.
Yeah, that's a country singer.
I can't even remember his name. If Roger Stone is not a great person. He's done some things in the past that he probably could have been prosecuted for tax evasion and all sort of stuff like that that the IRS refused to prosecute. So they brought that back up too, and that's part of what's going on too. Well, the IRS refused to prosecute it, and there's no such thing as double jeopardy in this country. They're refusing to prosecute it until the Democrats decide that he's a Republican and campaigned for the wrong president. Now we're going to prosecute it, which is crap. So there's a whole lot of things that's going on right now with this. People need to slow down, they need to back up, and they need to realize about Bill Barr. You try to impeach Bill Barr is going to hand you your head on a platter. He is one of the most intelligent lawyers in this country. He will hand the Democrats their head on a platter. Period. They need to leave him alone, let him do what he does. And Donald Trump, I love you, your policies. I like how you do things sometimes, but you need to leave Bill Barr alone, and you need to quit tweeting about Stone. You need to quit that because that's making things look like there's something going on that there's really not. You got to stop that. Okay, you got to use that brain that's up in your head for that purpose. Use Twitter for something else. Okay, that was the first thing that I wanted to go on about a little bit tonight because people don't understand what an attorney general does. How many people on this show know what the attorney general does? That's one of his duties.
Right.
Is to review those cases and then talk to the judges and say, this is my recommendation. He cannot control the judge, cannot make the judge change the stuff. So therefore, all of this stuff that's being thrown around from impeach Bill Barr is nothing but a load of nonsense. Just to let people know. I didn't want to go on too long about that or about any of this other stuff that's going on right now.
This is a Saturday show, brother. Hey, let's give it to
them. We talk a little bit about the Democrat nominees for president.
Mm-hmm.
We now have Andrew Yang has dropped out.
Right.
So Andrew Yang is gone. Pete Buttigieg is in the lead.
Yep.
And then Bernie Sanders.
Right.
And then Elizabeth Warren.
Mm-hmm.
And then Joe Biden.
Yep.
Those are your four that you got that's in the lead. Not sure that the top two are exactly right because of the shenanigans that went on in Iowa, but that's their business. They want to mess with Bernie Sanders to the point like they did with Hillary Clinton before when they basically screwed him over and then bought him out. So if they want to do that again, I don't have a problem with it. I don't want to see a communist running for president. That's exactly what Bernie Sanders is. So, but that's a little bit of a breakdown of the Democrat politicians who are going on. They're running on things like paying people's student loans completely off. They're running on things like climate change, fixing climate change. Andrew Yang was running on what they call a freedom dividend, which was giving people a certain amount of money, everybody a certain amount of money each month. Bernie Sanders wants to pay off all the student loans, and it was something else that he was doing that cost us like $40 trillion every 10 years or something insane like that. Look into if you want to look into their policies, please do. I don't want to break down all of their policies because I come off sounding like I'm biased when I do that because you can see it in my eyes that I don't believe it will ever function the way they think it will function. I just don't. These are not the Democrat candidates that I remember from my youth being Democrat candidates. These are not Democrats. These are socialists. So, and that's one of my big problems with them. But those are your Democrat field. Donald Trump and nobody else is in the Republican field. He's won every single primaries by complete and just utter domination, landslide style against the other two people who are running against him. Which I can't even remember the people's names because they have
they're irrelevant.
They have no shot.
Yeah.
Absolutely no shot at all. The other thing I wanted to talk about tonight briefly is I wanted to talk a little bit about a man who some people have some mixed emotions about, and that's Rush Limbaugh. Rush Limbaugh has been diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer, and that's not. It's not a good thing. With all the medical advances, people do beat that. But Rush Limbaugh's changed the way we do talk radio.
Yes, we talked about it. Yes.
He has changed, not just for people like me that are Republicans or right wingers. I call myself a constitutionalist because I really am a true Republican, which is a constitutionalist. He changed the way radio functions. He changed the way talk show functions. At the time I started listening to Rush Limbaugh, he had a TV show.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't 100% sure at that young age, because of the schools that I was around, that I believed everything he was saying. Called us young skulls full of mush, which was true at that point.
I like that.
Yeah, that's
like
one of his catchphrases, young skulls full of mush. So he basically, through the way he is, the positive notes that happen with Rush Limbaugh, he's positive just about everything. He came to start making me want to understand more and more and more and more and more about our government. And I did. I started digging into different things, and I'd learned it in high school, but being a high schooler, that's being a high schooler. And I started understanding more and more and more about it. So a lot of the reason that I am the way and I understand what I do now is because of Rush Limbaugh. Buddy, I know you probably won't ever see this, but I hope you beat this. Don't know how we'd listen to that every day.
You're right. And just to back up what Byron said, I'm a big Rush Limbaugh fan. And when I started doing radio and started doing these lives, I modeled myself after him. He did. He has changed the way that radio, period. I don't care if you're a radio DJ that plays music. I don't care if you're a talk show host. I don't care if you do podcasts. I don't care if you do lives like we're doing, calling the football games, everything. He changed the way talk radio is, period. Period, period. And I emulate myself after him in some of the things that I do. We talked about this the other night. We were talking about who we emulated. And Rush Limbaugh was one, and we talked about Neil Bortz.
Oh,
we picked guys. Who did I say? If you can remind me real quick, I said you were Rush, didn't I? No. Did I say he was?
You said that you could tell that I emulated myself after Mark Levin.
After Mark Levin. Okay, Mark Levin is him.
And I do. I wish I had the knowledge that Mark Levin had about the Constitution and the law. I know a fraction of what that man does. I take get a lot of my information from him because you can't be involved with the DOJ,
right,
and basically be the second in command of the DOJ and not know what you're doing with government, the Constitution, and things like that. You just can't do it. And he was during the Reagan years.
Yes.
He is a brilliant constitutional scholar. He is a brilliant lawyer, and he still has a law firm that he basically uses to challenge government idiocy.
Right.
It's called Landmark Legal. He talks about it all the time on his show. You can look up the cases that they've done and the things that they've done. It's great. They're great. He's great. And that
was you, Mark. Look at who did I say Mitchell was? Did I say a little bit of Rush? I said a little bit of Rush.
A little bit of Rush.
A little bit of Rush. But who did I say he was? There was somebody. Who?
Sean Hannity's old partner.
Yeah. Well, I did
that's
say
funny,
that is funny, Dwight. I will say that.
I completely forgot that he had that show with McCombs.
And then I said I would be more like Mike Savage, Savage
And
Nation.
I can
You can see that a little bit, the way he hypes himself up. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to say gets off the rail, but you know what I mean?
Talks about his dog.
Well, yeah. But then
the
he
cannoli.
brings up a name that I really love, Neil Bortz. Oh my God, I love Neil Bortz.
Okay,
and I remind myself of Neil Bortz too, but all those guys are.
If you don't know who Neil Bortz is,
oh my God, you need to go back and listen.
He is a retired.
You know
he is a retired talk show host.
Yeah,
and he is a libertarian.
Yes, he is.
There are some things I absolutely love about Neil Bortz, and there's some things I look at and go,
yeah.
Okay, wait. If that's really the way you feel about it, that's cool. You make a great argument for it. But Neil Bortz is one of those other people that needs to be mentioned in circles with Rush Limbaugh. And the reason for that is because Neil has been doing it almost as long as Rush has.
Yep.
And the other thing is Neil Bortz and a congressman whose name is escaping me right now is responsible for something called the fair tax. It is the most studied piece of tax legislation ever written. And if you ever wanted to give this country true freedom, you'd abolish the income tax and replace it with a fair tax. You'd still be able to function and get the same money out of it that you do from income tax.
Right.
You would never, ever hear another comment about the rich don't pay their fair share because it's done through something called a consumption tax, which means all of that money that goes to the government is added into the price of goods, and then that goes to the government.
Right.
There's no taxes on it except for the state and local taxes.
Right.
It's all added in, and then part of that goes back to the government. On top of it, it actually pays you back money. I don't know how they did this, but they figured out a way to make it pay you back money for the things that are non-taxable now, like bread, milk, food. There's a couple other things to it too. It would be an absolutely wonderful thing for the American people to actually have implemented. The problem is it will never happen because the government likes its power too much, and the politicians won't give up the power. Because once that income tax is gone, they don't control us as much as they used to.
That's right.
So it probably will never happen.
Yeah.
But if you want a really interesting read, pick up the fair tax, pick the book up, and read it and see what that tax does. And then please call your representatives and tell them that they need to pass that. I've done it multiple times before, but they're not giving up the power. Unless enough people go, you need to give up the power.
All right, guys. Hey, it's been a great show. We still got some more. Hey, we're 2 hours plus right now. Boop, 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 boop. We're in ADO everywhere. Audience-driven overtime everywhere. On My Story, Mitchell's Local, Byron's National. And here we go with the sports right here, ladies and gentlemen. Here's your sports report for Saturday night, February the what? 15th, right?
Yep.
Because yesterday was Valentine's Day. I hope you got your wife something good. Hope you got your wife something. Oh, well, wait a minute. Next, hope you got your wife something good to
Got
wife.
my mother something.
There you go.
I bought it for hours.
Okay, Dave, I hope you got your woman something good. Hey, and you know what I did? I slept.
I gave my woman something good on November 11th, 2011. She got me.
Nicole, are you on?
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
No, she got flowers.
Roger
and a
Stone.
card.
William Barr.
Yeah.
Okay.
Stop right there, Dave.
Stop. Go back down.
Go back down just a second.
Yeah, she asked my wife.
Yeah,
asked
we want to
me,
get to these comments.
Go back
before we-
up, not down.
let's see.
What do you want for dinner?
Right there?
I said,
The bar
"Eggs
impeachment
and
will lead to
bacon."
big repercussions. Is that the one you wanted?
If you mess with
With the AG.
with Bill Barr,
Yeah.
I would not mess with the Attorney General.
I would not either. Not at all.
I don't care how powerful those people are. There is no group that is more powerful than the law
Ooh.
if it's implemented the way it should
Right.
be implemented. And I can promise you Bill Barr will find
Yeah.
somebody that will do that. He's been around Washington, D.C. long enough. If you mess with him, he will hurt you. And trust me, the Democrat Party itself, the DNC, is responsible for this. They're the ones that paid Fusion GPS,
Yep.
who found Steele, who got the information from that dossier that this whole entire bunch of nonsense
Is all about.
is all about
Yes.
in a bar from Russians. He's MI6. He was in Russia and got that nonsense and then gave it to Hillary Clinton's campaign to smear Donald Trump. And now everything is bloomed from that.
Right.
It's
And why in the world should we? And how in the world should we trust them at all when when they can't even run their own caucus?
Well, yeah.
Mitchell, how can
They can't count votes? They can't count.
You want me to tell you how? Okay. Conspiracy theory, here we go. Are you ready for this? Do you know who has part ownership in the actual app
Oh yeah.
that was running the Iowa caucus counts?
But whatever his name is, Pete.
Pete
Yep.
Buttigieg, the
Yep.
person that actually won it.
Imagine that.
Imagine that. And you call me a conspiracy theorist all you want, but it's kind of convenient that Bernie Sanders is leading this whole entire time in the polls, and then all of a sudden, here's Pete Buttigieg out of 5th or 6th place that comes up to win it.
Yeah.
Sounds like Hillary Clinton to me, but
Wait a minute.
Well,
Oh, look at there. That gun machine just sputtered.
it looks like what they're trying to do
it's railroad Bernie again.
Railroad Sanders again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
they're working on the presidential election to screw Trump.
Well, what
At the
the-
same time.
Well, yeah, all of it.
It's
Yeah, it's
multiple,
going to play. Yeah,
layered, and now all of a sudden we have somebody who's not even in this as of yet that is choosing. That looks like he's going to choose Hillary Clinton for his VP.
I must be talking about that New York.
And talking about Doomberg,
Yeah.
he doesn't have a prayer.
I'm trying to
He
figure
does.
out
He
why
got a ton of money.
he's the only one I'm hearing
And-
commercials from on the radio and TV is only Mike Bloomberg. I have not seen or heard of any of the other ones.
I think
at all.
he's supposed to
Yeah.
spend close to $300
Million
million
dollars.
just on commercials.
Commercials.
He's a billionaire. He can
Yeah,
do that
it doesn't
sort of
hurt
thing.
him at all.
And I don't like Elizabeth Warren.
Well,
She's a lying criminal as far as I'm concerned, and I can prove that because she said she was Native American. She claimed she was Native American on applications to be a professor at the college she was at, and they said that she was a Native American, the first Native American woman professor at that school. That's called defrauding that school and our government because the money partly from her check came from the government. She defrauded not only that, she lied on her job application, and she's still teaching there. They didn't
Right.
fire her. She is a criminal. That's another story. I don't trust her, but she said it exactly right. She'll be able to buy the presidency of the United States, and that's what Bloomberg is trying to do. He's living off of Rudy
Giuliani's policies.
in New York.
Yes, I wanted to say
is
that so
what,
bad.
is what he's doing. The guy is off of his rocker. Everybody thinks Trump's off of his rocker.
Oh,
This
shit.
guy is off of his
Yeah.
rocker.
Woo.
I mean, off of
did
his
y'all hear
rocker.
the audio from what he was saying that Sean Hannity was playing?
Is
the other
racist.
day?
Oh, yeah,
too.
that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, they actually put that out on mainstream. He'll be done.
Oh,
yeah.
And Elizabeth Warren was doing that, Dwight. So it will come out. How bad it will hurt somebody who's got billions of dollars to throw back at the public who won't hear that because he's throwing billions of dollars into millions of dollars into ads. I don't know, but you could have picked somebody else for your running candidate,
Yeah,
mate.
absolutely.
Because I'm telling you, that would scare me half death. What's the number up to? 52 or 53?
Yeah.
And call it a conspiracy theory all you want. How many people commit suicide or mysteriously die around you?
You know what's sad?
Seriously, how many people have died around the Clintons?
Right.
Before you start going, okay, something's not right with this picture. So Hillary wants to be president. I would not want to sit in Bloomberg's shoes.
No.
I wouldn't want to be in second behind me.
Me either. Yeah. Pat. Go ahead, Dave.
You know what's sad?
Commit suicide by shooting yourself in the back of the head twice.
The issues that really matter
Get
to
put on
our
the back.
country and us as a people. They're not getting out there because of all this drama and this Big Brother show that's going on.
Yeah, we're not working on
Donald Trump is handling that, by the way. If you notice what happens in the background when all of this stuff starts happening, somebody sends out a tweet about this, that, and the other. The press and the Democrats go slap crazy, and the next thing you know, a day or two later, you're talking about something like him repealing NAFTA and signing the trade agreement between Canada and Mexico, or the China deal, or any of the other things that seem to happen right after Donald Trump puts his foot, quote unquote, puts his foot in his mouth. You start seeing all of this stuff happen. I really honestly believe the man is playing a brilliant game of chess with the Democrat Party, and he's always 4 or 5 moves ahead.
Yep.
Because he always seems to do something like that when
A rope-a-dope.
it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's rope-a-dope.
Mm-hmm. All right. If I threw out a number to you and said 78%, and this same subject that we're talking about, what would that number indicate to you?
78%? Mm-hmm. His job approval rating? But no, it's not his job approval rating. It's his policy.
The policy rating. Yes. Overall rating.
Overall rating,
I think is
it's not the 97%.
No, it's
you're
not.
talking
No, it's
about.
not.
That's amongst Republicans.
Right.
He's got a 97%
Good
approval rating from his party.
Those numbers, since Reagan, I haven't seen those.
Reagan didn't have.
They haven't even had those numbers.
Reagan's numbers were like 86.
Yeah. But he's probably the next closest, right, to that approval.
He's next as far as approval
rating.
As far as approval rating goes, yeah.
Yeah.
So
you tell me, ladies and gentlemen, and that's what
the Democrat Party is about to run into a buzzsaw.
Oh boy,
it's going to run into a buzzsaw.
They're destroying themselves within.
Yeah, it's self-imploding. It's self-imploding. It's self-imploding.
The sad thing,
you want to know why?
The sad thing about this is a bunch of socialists are trying.
That's
trying
right.
To come
You
into
got
power.
the socialists, and you still got some diehard Democrats that are there, and they're fighting amongst each other to try to define what type of party that the Democratic Party is.
Mm-hmm. I really see that if they don't do something very soon to remove the socialists and the communists from this party, that the party's going to split. Probably you can call it a split anyway if they get rid of them, because they're going to take half the people away.
Right.
Now, when you have that split happen, you can kiss everything as far as being basically a majority in our government goodbye.
Mm-hmm.
I do not want to see that happen. And I'll tell you why. I don't like the current Democrat Party. But once one party has control for so long, they start doing corrupt things.
Yep.
That's what happens. It doesn't matter whether they're Republicans or Democrats or vice versa. They may start out with the right ideas and the right mindset to help the country, but what happens when you have power for that long? It corrupts you. And I don't want to see it. There has to be another party that brings itself along.
Yeah. Hey, and I'll tell you what a great show we've had so far. We're in 2 hours plus right now. Still got people on. Thank you guys for joining us on the spot with David Rodgers. To my right here, I've got the one and famous and the only local guru right here, Mr. Mitchell Gunner right here, the lookout on terrorism and anything else that doesn't belong.
That's right.
What else have you seen anything today? Don't answer that. Mr. Byron Bagwell to my left, man, fighting for your rights and your freedoms right here. Hey, the guy that'll give it to you straight. Hey, look here. It is what it is. The way he says it is the way that we see it and the way that it is. And if you would open up your eyes, you would see the same thing as well.
We were talking about
Yes,
Bill Barr
we were talking. Yes, we were.
It's not just Bill Barr.
No.
Like I said, that's the way the Attorney General's office works.
Mm-hmm.
And all you got to do is do a little bit of research and find that out, and you find out that what this is one big political game.
Yep.
You're wasting your
Money.
by doing this stuff.
Exactly.
My money too,
Yeah.
which infuriates me, and it should infuriate you too,
Mm-hmm.
especially if you're a Democrat. Because these people are supposed to be writing policies and doing things for you.
Right.
You're not supposed to be fighting the president every step about everything and making up stuff about him and making stuff up about an attorney general.
Yeah. And over here to my right is Mr. Dave Holland, which is going to my left over here because we're going to get ready to close out the show here in a few minutes. And joining us live, Mr. Ribs himself, the cook, the dude that knows, the smoker, Mr. Dwight Allen's here with us. Say hello to Dwight, everybody.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody. Double D.
Double D.
There you
I'll
go.
explain
And
that
that's
later.
not double down. We'll explain
Show pictures of me when I was a kid.
Yeah, there you go. I was just getting ready to say, I'm sure the other is coming. Hey, and my name is David Rodgers. I'm your host. We're going to get into some sports, guys. We got a great show going. We still got guys on here. We still got people watching. We're going to get into some sports right here. Saturday Sports Report with David Rodgers on the spot right here. Sponsored by Miracle Automotive and Towing tonight. Kurt Miracle.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kurt. I think he came on for a few minutes. Let's start off with the BHS Tornadoes boys basketball team. This past week, they had the district and regional playoffs, guys, in Dunnellon, Florida, of all places. In a first-round game this past Tuesday night, they played their arch rival, the Keystone Heights Indians, and they won that game 68-56. Then they turned around the next night, had to go back to Dunnellon Wednesday, and guess who they played? The Gainesville Eastside Rams, and they got their tails handed to them 69-39 to end their season. Let me give you a little statistic, gentlemen. You remember when I told you, man, that I thought they was going to be a powerhouse? They was really top ranked, nationally ranked. They were what, 6-0, 7-0 since January 24th, Byron, till February 12th, since that last loss. The team went 3-5 down the stretch in their final 8 games. They finished the season 14-11 overall. You can't go into a tournament on a losing record like that and not have any kind of continuity and expect to win. There's good teams out there and teams that are just as good as you, if not better, and they're going to be playing like that, and they're coming in on winning streaks. And that's what this tournament's all about, is who's hot at the right time. And this team was not hot. But, look, great season. Good luck next year. Congratulations to Coach Roberts and his staff. I'm proud of them. Also to our seniors on this year's team, Jalen Williams, our leading scorer, Amon Jefferson, and Cam Douglas. Thank you for what you've done. I know your senior season didn't end it like you wanted to, but you know what? You played hard. You had 5 district championships or 4 district championships in a row. Hey, I can't hang your hat on that, brother. We're all proud of you guys. So thank you.
Yes, sir.
Hey, we'll look forward to next year. Wrestling schedule. February the 19th, Wednesday next week, we've got the districts over at Clay High School. Some of our boys are going to be trying to make the regional tournament, and as soon as they that finishes up, I will give you who made that. But that's next Wednesday. That's over at Clay High School. That meet starts at 12 o'clock if y'all want to go out there and watch that. BMS baseball and softball is going on. They've already had their preseason, the boys anyway. So now the regular season starts off February 24th. They'll go to Oakleaf, the boys and the girls, BMS softball teams. That's over at Oakleaf. Nice facility over there. If you haven't been over there, that game will be at 5 o'clock. And then right around there, February 26th, Lake Butler comes here. That game's at 5 o'clock as well. This is boys and girls BMS softball team now. And then February 27th, they'll go to Green Cove and play Green Cove. Games are at 5 o'clock. Please go out and support the BMS boys and girls softball teams. Man, I'm going to tell you what, this is our future coming up to the high school, is these kids right here. Bradford baseball schedule is well on its way. They had their preseason classic in Baker. They played 2 games over there. Unfortunately, Byron, they went 0-2, but that's okay. Hey, a little tough start to the season. Okay, get that out of your way. Now here comes opening week. Starting Tuesday, February the 18th, they'll go back to Baker. They'll play that game at 6:30. And then Thursday, on February 20th, they'll go to Middleburg and play at 6 o'clock. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Next 3 games.
Oh, my God. It's going to be murder's row right here. So you got 5 games starting on the road. I found out why we have 5 games starting on the road, too. I did not know this. Beautiful field over there and everything. The lights. There's no lights over there. I did not know that.
They're putting lights in.
Got to put some lights in, yeah. So that's why you see all these games, and then you start getting some home games. But yet you see on the home games, the times are a little earlier, 5 o'clock. Say 5 o'clock here. So I'm hoping they get these lights in and everything goes, but that's why you're not having a lot of night home games right there is because of that. So, and they've got a full schedule. I hope they do good. Go out and catch a baseball game, man. If you haven't catch a baseball game, it's great for sure.
Fun to watch.
Nothing like a hot dog, a Coke, and baseball.
Yeah, exactly right.
Popcorn
too. Yeah. The Bradford Tornadoes ladies softball team was over in Santa Fe today. They played Ponte Vedra. Not very good on that first game. Lost 15-1. Yeah. Then they came back and played Bell in a closer game. All preseason doesn't count against the record. I think they lost by 2 runs. I think it was 9-7, 8-6, something like that. So they're getting better. How to get that out of their system. But on February 18th, they'll play Gainesville Buchholz over there. And then on the 20th, they'll play Clay over there. And how about this, man? We have to play a lot of games on the road to start of the season for both teams. Then they got to go to Gainesville High School or Santa Fe, excuse me, back to Santa Fe, my bad, back to Santa Fe. But that's their first 3 games. My gosh, that's Murder's Row right there, isn't it? So go out and support the Bradford Tornado softball team. Your buddy, Kevin Blankenship, is the coach, head coach. Kevin's doing a good job. He's going to have these girls playing really well. And you'll see some improvement. This is something Mitchell likes right here as far as track and field right here. Let's see, that's the high school schedule right here. They've already had a preseason meet over at Clay. Get that out of the way. And on February 19th, they're going to go to Byron's old school there, Oak Hall school there for the Oak Hall meet. That meet starts at 1 o'clock and will last all day and will run all those races. And then on the 25th, they'll go to Wolfson High School and be at the Wolfson meet. So a lot of things going on with the that's the BHS boys and girls track team.
Right.
Middle school track team had a meet on the 13th right here. What I hear, I didn't get all the results, but I hear we did pretty good. I hear we won the 100 meter. Let's see, somebody did pretty good in the mile. There were several things that we won, so we showed some great things here. And then on the 20th, they'll go to Orange Park High School for the Orange Park meet. That meet starts at 4:30 over there. Yeah, take that. Yeah. Okay. How about the high school tennis team? Hey, I used to be Jimmy Connor back in the day. I didn't add that to my story, did I?
No.
Yeah,
I'm gonna tell you what. Let me tell you what.
John McEnroe.
Yeah, well, let me tell you. I throw the tennis ball up and try to hit it, and you know how you're supposed to make it?
Yeah.
Touchdown, or hit it out of the park. Man, I couldn't hit that. Man, Byron's a pretty good tennis player, probably.
I used to be a really good tennis player.
But on February...
don't know how good I am anymore, but I used to enjoy playing tennis.
On February the 11th, that was this past week, Union was at Bradford High School. I didn't get the results on that, but that was a boys and girls meet that will happen here. If you haven't been to our tennis facility, they've upgraded that. It looks really good. Go out there and watch a tennis meet. Yep, it's free. You can go sit there and watch. Hey, bring your Coke, some popcorn, like you said, and watch our boys and girls and cheer them on. They're going to be on the 18th over at, Orange Park's coming here again. How about that? Meet time is at 3 o'clock for the boys and the girls. And look at here, another game at the home here, match at home. Ridgeview will come over on the 20th, and that will be a boys and girls match as well, and that'll be at 3:15. You know, I didn't know that, but Mitch Dublowski.
Okay.
Yeah, y'all know Mitch Dublowski. Roger's really good friends with him. But Mitch is the tennis coach, and he does a great job. He was a good tennis player here well.
Mike Sexton.
Mike Sexton was the tennis. I was just going to say. So, and then, of course, the Bradford High School flag football team, they'll start their season March the 3rd, so still a couple of weeks away. They'll have Middleburg at home. Remember, I told you they played all their games on the road the last 2 seasons? We're actually going to have some games here.
Oh, good.
So
good.
Middleburg will be here at 6 o'clock. March the 5th, they'll go to Inglewood. Interesting. Florida Deaf and Blind, how about that? They've got a team. They're there on April the 9th. And I'm going to tell you what, hey, they got a good team.
That would be scary.
That would be scary, brother. They got a good team. But anyway, the girls haven't won a game in 2 years. Maybe this year is the
year for
it. So we got some good coaches on that. So that's our local sports. Let's get into some real sports here. No, all of it's real sports. But let's get into some big boy and big girl sports. Of course, hey, it is what it is.
Dave, you're about to get us in trouble. You know that, don't you, buddy?
I know it. Yep, we're already in trouble. So anyway, no, we're going to get into some college. Right here, we love these cats.
No, yes, we do.
Bradford High School, that's why I do it first and foremost, because they're the most important to us. This is our teams. This is our people. These are our kids. These are kids that we know, or somebody has the kids that we know. And that's why we do this first, because we love our Bradford Tornadoes no matter what it is. We root for them and everything. So, hey, if we could get a state champion in weightlifting, I didn't even have the boys weightlifting yet. I haven't even got their schedule. Okay. But we're going to have a state champion out of that. You know that, right?
Oh, yeah.
Nunu is going to win the state championship. He's won it 3 years in a row. He's going to win it 4. So we're going to have a state champion in boys weightlifting. Yeah, so, and I'll get into him when we get the schedule. Let's go Division I college basketball. But before we do that, I do want to tell you, we have a little promotion going on, Dave. We've talked about this. We're going to do a bracket. We're going to, just like the March Madness bracket you see that ESPN does, that Fox Sports does. There's the Allstate does one. And we're going to do one here for $10 a bracket. You can get in. Whoever wins that bracket is going to get half the money collected. The other half, we always like to pay it forward, right, guys? We always like to pay it back. We're going to give the other half to the food pantry. He doesn't even know it yet, unless he listens to the show, that we're even going to do that. I want somebody to surprise him and say, David and them guys were talking about giving you half the money for what that they raised to that food pantry. And that's what we're all about. We're all about paying it forward, paying it back, giving back. That's what we do. But we're going to do a bracket for $10. You can do a bracket. Now, of course, the bracket won't come out right now because we still got 2.5 weeks of the season left. And then, of course, we got the tournament, the conference tournaments, and then we'll find out who's going to be in that team of 68, really, which will eventually wind up 64 because you got the 4 play-in games. So after that, we'll have the bracket out, and for $10, you can get your bracket. If you want to buy 20 brackets, I don't care. But they're $10 a piece.
$10 a piece.
$10 a piece for $200 to chance to maybe win. I'd like to get 200 brackets in here. That's $2,000 to win $1,000.
$1,000
to win $1,000. My goodness, and we give $1,000 to the food pantry. Wow. Man, that would be awesome. I want to shoot for 200, Dave. Let's do that. Y'all talk to your friends. Your wife talk to you. Hey, we're going to do this bracket, and again, we're going to pay it for it. We're going to put it on our website. I believe John's already started doing that. But I wanted to really specify this because the teams, it's coming. It's about 2.5 weeks away, and we want to go ahead and get that started so we can get the monies in. We can find out who we get, and then, of course, we're all going to have to grade them. You know what I mean? Going to have to keep up with it and all that stuff. So we're all going to have brackets here. Go ahead and check your team. You want to go ahead and put a double check on mine? Okay, so these two, is that what you want to go with? If they are national brackets, okay.
They're in the opposite brackets, those two teams are going to be playing in the national championship, and you can put the one that I put the check on.
Gonzalez going to make it into the
Final Four.
Final Four.
Okay, and we'll get into that, and we'll talk about that a little bit. So Division I.
Baylor.
Yeah, AP Sports Writers, top 25 right here. Baylor's number 1. They destroyed West Virginia today. Gonzaga's playing tonight. Gonzaga's 2. Kansas is 3. They beat the mess out of Oklahoma today. San Diego State, the only undefeated team left in the whole country, is sitting at 4. Me and Byron talked about this. Hey, I'm sure they're a great team. They ain't played nobody. They play that West Coast out there. They play Cal Polytech. Joe Smo, Podunk, Little Sisters of the Poor. Hey, and I'm sure they're probably a pretty good team. We'll see. We'll see. And they're probably going to get a number 1 seed if they stay undefeated. We'll see what happens. Louisville is our top-ranked ACC team. They're 5th. Dayton, how about that? Dayton. Hey, them Flyers, man. They're in 6th. They're 6th. And then they beat the mess out of somebody today. Duke is 7th. Florida State is 8th, and Florida State beat Syracuse by 3 today. Great game. Duke played, I think, today, too, as well. Did they win? I think they did. Maryland from the Big Ten. I'm just seeing them in the ACC, man, but the Big Ten. Maryland's 9th. Seton Hall. How about the Hall? 10th. They got a couple of good ball players there. Auburn's 11th. Kentucky's 12th. Penn State, they destroyed somebody today. Illinois or somebody. They're playing good ball. West Virginia is who Baylor beat the mess out of. They were 14th. Villanova, don't count that team out there, 15th. Colorado 16th. Oregon 17th. Marquette's 18th. Butler, the Butler who? Bulldogs. They're 19th. Houston, the Cougars are 20th. Iowa's 21st. Illinois 22nd. How about the Creighton? Anybody know their nickname? No? Creighton. I'll give a gift certificate. Shut up, Raj. I'll give a gift certificate for anybody that's listening that can tell me what Creighton's nickname is. And Texas Tech is 24th, and LSU is 25th. And I'll extend. If nobody comes on, I'll extend it. Dave, let's see if somebody can get that. Let's see. Anybody? Roger Cruz joined us. Yeah, he's back. Let's see. Nobody's got it. Okay, can anybody tell me right here? Obviously, nobody's come on yet. Can anybody tell me who they are? The Creighton what?
Crabs?
So, it's close. The Creighton Blue Jays.
Yes.
The Creighton Blue Jays. Yeah, and they won today, didn't they? Big, didn't they? They won by like 30.
364
Oh,
Woo!
Over who?
DePaul. Yeah, and they're not bad. And Creighton beat the mess out of them. Texas Tech is 24th, and LSU's 25th.
Duke won today.
And Duke won today, 94-60. There they slaughtered somebody. Okay.
You beat Notre Dame.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. Well, Notre Dame's about the middle of the pack. That's not bad. So Division I college basketball poll. Women's, South Carolina 1, Baylor 2, Oregon 3. And by the way, gentlemen, if you wanted to, we could do the same thing with the women's bracket. We could do a double thing. You know what I'm saying? It'd be a little bit more paperwork for us, but we could do a bracket with the women too. They got a 64-team field. We can do the same thing there. So maybe for $10 a piece, you get a men and a women's bracket. You never know. I'd love to have 200 brackets.
Oregon wins it all.
I tell you what, Oregon's 3. They're good, and you're exactly right.
I know absolutely nothing about women's
4,
basketball.
NC State. 5 is UConn. 6 is Mississippi State. I'll take any one of those teams. UCLA's 7th. Stanford's 8th. Louisville's 9th. Maryland's 10th. Oregon State's 11th. Hey, Arizona's 12th. Number 13 is DePaul on the women's side. The number 14 team, you may want to watch out for because if they get hot, they can beat any one of these teams right here. And that's the Florida State women. They get hot and they start shooting them threes, and it's pretty much over. Gonzaga's 15th. Texas A&M is 16th. Iowa's 17th. Kentucky's 18th. Northwestern's 19th. This is women now. Indiana's 20th. And where did I go? Okay. Missed the paper there. South Dakota's 21. How about South Dakota?
Wow.
What in the hell is in South Dakota?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Hey,
Lots of
look,
big
South Dakota, what are they? Are they the Jackrabbits or is that South Dakota State? Dwight, look that up. South Dakota State's the Jackrabbits. What is South Dakota? I think they're the Hens or something. 22 is Arizona State. 23 is Arkansas. 24 is Missouri State. Hey, they play basketball there, and 25 is Tennessee. Miss Pat Summit head on Tennessee, don't you? I tell you, she had some great teams. And as Dwight's looking up South Dakota, their mascot there. Let's talk about the XFL. That's the football league now. That's
today.
Well, I've got
TV
one.
Channel was so messed up.
I've got one. The DC Defenders beat the New York Guardians 27-0. Tampa Bay Vipers versus the Seattle Dragons today. Dallas, the Renegades are going to play LA Wildcats and the St. Louis Battlehawks, who you like right there, right? Versus the Houston Roughnecks. What do you have, Roger, on that Tampa Bay Vipers versus Seattle Dragons?
Let me.
Okay, next. What do you got, Dwight, on the team there?
I'm still trying.
Oh, you're still trying to. Okay. So on the XFL East, which there's 8 teams, owners Vince McMahon, you got the New York Guardians, which are 1-1 now because they lost to the Defenders. The Battlehawks are 1-0. The DC Defenders are 2-0 now, and the Tampa Bay Vipers are 0-1 until we find out a score. And
17-9. You lost. Viper lost today.
who did?
The Vipers.
The Vipers lost today 17-9. So that means the Dragons are 1-1, and that means now Tampa Bay is 0-2. So the DC Defenders are 2-0. Tampa Bay Vipers are 0-2. That's the XFL East. The XFL West is the Houston Roughnecks. They're 1-0. Seattle Dragons are 1-1. Like I said, Dallas Renegades are 0-1, and the LA Wildcats are 0-1, and they play tomorrow. What are they?
Coyotes.
The Coyotes. Okay, I said the Hens, didn't I?
Something I was thinking.
What in the hell
that
was
maybe
I
they were
thinking?
the Coyotes for some reason. I knew that.
All right.
There's a lot of them in South
Yeah,
Dakota,
boy,
too.
there you ain't
And
kidding.
Tonight at UF, Billy Donovan, he named the cut after him at halftime tonight.
So for you Florida fans, I just got word right here that at halftime today, the court is named after Billy Donovan, and so it's Billy Donovan Court now over there at UF, which well-deserving. Billy Donovan is a great coach. Let me tell you, when they lost him, I think Florida's basketball program went down for sure. He was able to get these top elevated recruits, Byron, and guys to be able to play for him. They loved the scheme. And what's his name? White now? Is that his?
Yes,
Who's?
Mike White.
Mike White is the coach now. He's not doing bad, but he does. I just don't think he runs it like Billy Donovan did.
No.
Billy Donovan's the one and only when it comes to that.
Their season's kind of like a roller coaster. I mean,
It is.
they'll do really good, and then they'll do really bad, and then in some games they'll be getting blowed out the first half, and they'll turn around and they'll surprise you and come back and win,
Hey,
being down over 20-something
Wonder what
points.
happened to Billy.
Billy is at Oklahoma.
Is that his team?
Yeah, he's coaching pros.
Pros.
Mhm.
He's in the pros.
He's in the pros.
Yeah.
Mhm. The Thunder.
And Mister, do
Oklahoma
not know.
City.
Do not know. Concussion beat us after being dominant. Be at Florida. Concussion not beat us over being dominant. For the dominate concussion.
All right, we're going to get on to college baseball here. Top 25 college baseball, Division I. Louisville's the number 1 ranked team in the country. Vanderbilt, the defending champions, are 2. The Hurricanes of Miami are 3. Florida Gators are 4. The Georgia Bulldogs are 5th. Texas Tech is 6th. Arkansas 7th. Auburn's 8th. Arizona State is 9th. Mississippi State's 10th. LSU's 11th. Florida State's 12th. They're probably going to drop now, losing the first game to Niagara. Niagara, what'd you say? Barrels or Falls?
The Barrels.
Yeah, wow. We lost the first game, come back and won the second game. Now we got to win the third game tomorrow to salvage the season. Michigan 13th, UCLA 14th, Duke 15th, North Carolina State 16th, Stanford 17th, Wake Forest 18th. Are you listening to all the ACC teams and the SEC teams that are in this? Georgia Tech 19th, Texas A&M 20th. Watch out for that 21st team, as Byron said, East Carolina Pirates. 22 is Oklahoma State. 23 is North Carolina. 24 is Oklahoma. And 25 is those Ole Miss Rebels. How about that? So we're going to have some good baseball right there. And we had some games already played that started. The college baseball season started. I didn't have any scores from yesterday's game, but I know Louisville was playing Ole Miss. That should have been an entertaining game. Florida State, like I said, played Niagara and lost the first game. Come back and win the second one. Florida won, and I believe Miami won too. And then, we'll get some of these scores and we'll update some of this stuff. Division I college women's softball top 25. Washington's 1, UCLA 2, Florida State 3, Oklahoma 4. Now, Roger, was you right or wrong on that score? Did Florida State lose to Washington? Because what I seen was it was 4-0 Florida State. You want to double check that?
Yes, no, double check right now.
All right, Oklahoma 4, Texas 5, Arizona 6, LSU 7, Michigan 8, Kentucky 9th, Missouri 10th, 11th is Alabama, 12th is Georgia, 13th is Oregon, 14th is Florida, 15th is Texas Tech, 16th is South Carolina. Hey, 17th is Oklahoma State, 18th is just Louisiana. Look up Louisiana's nickname. I think they're the Raging Cajuns.
Yes.
Yeah, I was thinking they're the Raging Cajuns.
But we'll see. 19th is Tennessee. 20th is Arizona State. 21 is Minnesota. 22 is Arkansas. 23 is James Madison. Can anybody tell me what their nickname is?
Jeff Madison.
Are they the Colonials?
Close.
Louisiana. Who?
Just Louisiana.
They're not the Colonials.
No, they're the Dukes.
The Dukes.
James Madison Dukes. 24 is Northwestern, and 25 is North Carolina. And that's all I got on the baseball right here. Daytona 500 tomorrow, baby. Woo, woo.
Super Bowl.
Woo. Xfinity right here, top 5. Mr. Gregson, huh? How about that, huh? He
There
he
we
won.
go.
Yeah,
That's
there you
what
go.
I was looking for.
That's
earlier.
what you were looking for. Burton 2, Hill 3, Jones 4, and Briscoe 5. How about that right there,
I
huh?
know who. You know who I put my
So-
money on tomorrow? Number 3, Archie Dilla. He win it. Number 3 called Value Visual Land. Watch my
I'll
words.
tell you somebody tomorrow that people might really want to take a look at, and that's Alex Bowman.
Absolutely.
And the reason I say that is because that guy's driving for Junior.
This is who I'm thinking is going to come out as your winner.
Byron?
Amarola.
Yeah, he's
And I've got one more down there. I think it's going to surprise you too, and it won't be a surprise.
Harvick.
Yep, don't be surprised.
Guy, you can't ever underestimate him.
No.
I tell you, somebody else that you might want to watch is Truex Jr. The way he's been driving the last
Yes. Yep.
the last 4 or 5 years. I actually like Truex. I've liked him since he was running for Michael.
So look at here. How about this, Dave? How about this, Byron? Dwight. Stenhouse is first, sitting on the pole. Second is Bowman. Logano's sitting third. Byron driving is sitting fourth. How about Byron? Byron is up. You're in the Daytona.
I'm more of a road racer than
well, are you
super track? Well, I'll take it.
Are you fixing? You got to get out of here real quick, like. Yeah, Amarola, as he just said, is fifth. Johnson's sitting in the sixth position. Newman seventh. Larson's eighth. Kozlowski is ninth, and Harvick's 10th. 11th, Wallace Jr.
Lousy? No, but I did.
No, you did. Custer is 12th. Dillon's 13th. Jones 14th. What you just said about Truex is sitting 15th, not in a bad spot. Benedetto, is that his name? Benedetto?
Yep.
Benedetto's 16th. Bell, I know Bell, 17th. And K. Bush, which one?
That right there is Kurt.
That's Kurt.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
It's KY if it's
Yeah.
Where is
K. Bush?
Kyle? I can look it up. But
Wussy boy.
Back.
Over in the wall.
In the back. Excuse me. What'd you find out on Louisiana?
That's just the name of the college is Louisiana.
Yeah, just Louisiana. Nothing.
I put in Louisiana mascot, and I'm getting all the Louisiana mascots.
Are you getting the Raging Cajuns, or is that Louisiana Lafayette?
That's Lafayette.
You know what? Yeah, that's Lafayette. There's Raging Cajuns. Louisiana.
Mike the Tiger.
Oh, you know what they are?
Cheyenne.
Hey, wait a minute. The Louisiana, they're the alligators. I think.
Well,
Seriously, the alligators.
I've got East the Warhawk of Dog, Ronnie the Lion, Vic the Demon.
Vic the Demon. Whoa, my. Well.
That has to be some of that
Woo,
going on in New Orleans.
Okay, let's get to the NHL. Make sure you watch the Daytona. Starts at what time tomorrow? Noon? 3 o'clock?
Starts tomorrow at 2:30.
2:30 tomorrow. 2:30.
I will be watching this somewhere.
Me too.
And actually, there's a possibility that President Trump will be making
yes,
one of the laps in the Lima in the limousine.
Yes.
He's going to run a lap in the Monster.
Yeah.
Which is his.
That's what happens when you try to say limo and limousine.
And limousine, yeah.
Same time.
And then, from what I understand, is he's actually going to give the start command.
Yes.
Gentlemen.
Start your engines. NHRA, how about that? Arizona Nationals, February 21st through the 23rd, Wall Horse Pass, Motorsports Park. So there you go on some NHRA. Mitchell, you're going to keep us updated on the NHRA, right? Yep. For sure, we'll be talking about that. And how about this? Already, Major League Baseball spring training has already started. Good grief, here we go. Who's your team? I just want to know who's your team in baseball. Who you like?
28.
No, okay, in college, who you like in the professional? None. Don't like it. Okay. Dave, who do you like? The Reds?
I go for the Mets.
The Mets. Okay. Who do you like?
You know who I like.
Who?
Oakland Athletics.
Oh, yes, I know that. Yeah. You do too, don't you? No. I like the Braves. I'm an Atlanta Braves guy.
I like the Red Sox too, but
if
I like the Astros.
I'm really a Cincinnati Reds fan.
I wasn't even going to talk about that. Now that you done brought that up, I should.
The Nolan Ryan era.
Yeah.
Yes, the Nolan Ryan
thank
era
you.
Astros were great. If I really am forced to say this out loud, because I'm going to catch a lot of flack from everybody.
Right.
But I'm a fan of the evil empire.
Are you really?
I've always loved the Yankees since a certain guy they call Mr. October was playing.
Yeah, I mean, how can you not like them? Oh, gosh.
As a kid. And before that,
they broke my heart with the Braves that one year.
And before that, I was a fan of the Big Red Machine. when Pete Rose was
Yeah,
playing.
that's Dave's team too, Cincinnati Reds. He likes
Byron,
Yeah.
to answer your question, Kyle Busch will start 28th tomorrow.
in the back.
But hey,
FSU lost.
it's
To
one of those
Washington?
races that you can win
From
Five.
anywhere.
in 43rd spot,
6-7.
and you can still win it.
So,
Yeah.
That isn't unless he gets too lousy and they kill each other,
Yeah.
like they've been
7-6.
trying to do for the past who
Yes.
knows
There
how
you
long.
go. To Washington.
no, FSU lost to Northwestern.
He gets up there and messes
7-6.
with Jimmy Johnson.
They
Jimmy
lost to
Johnson's
Northwestern?
liable to run him over.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
6-2.
I know it's hard to defend. They was the champions. They was the champions last year in that thing. So,
Six.
by the way, it's all right, Raj. Hey, we're getting ready to shut the show down.
Who's my favorite?
Final. Your team. Who's your team? Real quick.
Two of my baseball teammates.
Yep. Give
I
it to
like the Tampa Bay Devil, the Rays.
the Rays. Okay.
Beat your team, made it to the playoff.
Okay. Beat your team, by the way.
And LA Dodgers. You have David Fast and Bookie.
Okay. So you like the Dodgers and the Rays. All right. Real quick. Final thoughts, Dave.
Man, they're finding Roundup in Cheerios.
All right, watch out for your Cheerios, man. They're finding Roundup. That can't be. Yeah, the Cheerios. Are they actually putting a bottle in there?
No, it's the oats that I guess that they use to round up to
Oh, man.
grow it. Boom.
Wow.
General Mills, watch
Yeah,
out.
watch out. Here we go. Hey, Roundup and Cheerios. You heard it here, right here on the spot. Mitchell, final thoughts?
Well, I hope I win tomorrow and make up for my loss today. But if you are not busy tomorrow, come out to Gainesville Raceway. We'll probably
do
start
that.
racing around 10 o'clock. If you
May
wanna,
not do that.
If you want to do the chapel service before the race, we're on the third floor in the tower. We're going to do a chapel service in the morning. We
Okay.
always do that when we race on Sundays. And also, I want to thank all of our sponsors for making it possible for us to do this show, from Miracle Towing, Williams Jewelry, Harry
Yeah.
Business,
Mm-hmm.
On the Spot
Lawn maintenance.
Lawn Maintenance, Super and Sabrin,
Yeah.
and
Williams
and
Jewelry.
Dexter Dentistry.
Yeah.
Lawyers and that dentist.
You know who I haven't seen on there in a while? Is Brittany Leanne Creations. I got to ask Mr. Heater about that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You haven't seen her in a while. I
Well,
wonder-
we've got a new sponsor that we were supposed to announce tonight.
Yes,
but
we
it's
were.
down now.
It's down, yeah. So, but anyway, we will do that for sure. Byron, final thoughts.
Don't believe what you hear from our media. Simple. You hear nonsense. They report nonsense. Look into what our government does, how it's supposed to govern, and what it's supposed to do, and then make your judgments about what you hear. Because 3/4 of the stuff that you hear is just blatant lies, and the other quarter of it's half truths.
Yeah, and I agree with you fully on that, Byron. And for me is, we talked about, first of all, I'm glad that y'all joined us for the show. It's great. Everything is really went really well tonight. Yeah, I got you on that. I just want to say this. I sat here and poured out my story to you guys tonight, and I want to thank you for listening. I want to thank you for all the great comments and everything that everybody said. But we all have faults. We all do things that we regret doing, and we do them each and every day. But hey, you always have the chance, as long as you're still alive, to recoup from that. You know what I mean? You can always come back and go, man, I made that mistake. I don't want to do that again. You know what I'm saying? You always get a second chance to redeem yourself from that particular mistake. And also, don't judge a book by its cover. Everybody says, yeah, don't judge a book by its cover. I'm telling you right now, you may come up on somebody and you refuse to help them. And the next thing you know, somebody comes right along and helps them. And the next thing you know, they're getting that reward 10 times over because some guy gave them $1,000, you know what I mean? Or $2,000 or paid the bill or whatever it may be.
I know
Don't
this
judge
one,
a book by its cover.
I know this one was sitting there thinking when he first actually listened to me talk, what is this dumb redneck talking about? Where's Ruth Bader Ginsburg? So he's
Yeah.
right. Don't judge a book by its cover.
Don't judge a book by its cover. And look, if you're not registered to
Now
vote,
that I can
that's
get behind.
I can get behind too. And look, if you're not a registered voter, go out and vote. Your vote is very important, especially nowadays. Each and every vote counts. Even though there's some people that don't know how to count votes, there's still we need you to go out there and register. And I don't care what party it is.
Please educate yourself.
Yes.
So you understand who you're voting for.
Right.
Amen.
That's the most important thing, because
right.
you can support things like Pete Buttigieg does,
right,
and not support things like Bernie Sanders does,
right,
or you can support things like Trump does, or you could support things in the middle of it. You need to
right.
figure out who the best candidate for you is, and you need to go vote, because that's your voice, and that's one of our best freedoms. We run our government. Our government doesn't run us, because if we don't like what they're doing, we can vote them out.
Yes, we can.
And speaking of which, Byron, when we get into, sometimes we have those amendments that are placed on there for us to vote for.
Mm-hmm.
Please read those, through, and make sure, because sometimes there is mixed garbage that's in there to get other things to pass along with that amendment on the changes.
By the way, the assault weapon ban did not make it onto the ballot this year. And the other thing I want to tell you about this is we shouldn't be voting for our amendments at all.
Right. Right. Period.
You're basically amending the Florida Constitution through mob rule.
I do want to say this. You're right.
To me, that should never be put on the ballot.
I do want to say this, and we'll do this as the election comes closer. If y'all used to watch In My Opinion, you noticed that me and Drew broke down those amendments for you guys. Remember that the one time where we did that? And we're going to do the same thing on this show. We've got guys that are very knowledgeable in this thing. Hey, they'll help break that down, and we'll do that so you'll understand what you're voting for. We'll put it in our perspective and what we know about it, and we'll give it to you. You make the determination on who. We're not telling you who to vote for, right, Byron? Right, Mitchell?
No,
We're not telling you who to vote for.
I won't tell you who to vote for. I'll tell you who you should vote for.
Correct.
I won't tell you who you need to vote for.
That's your privilege, and you're right.
That's up to you.
That's up to you.
They send out a booklet that describes in detail what those amendments are before you go vote. And we'll break them down. I'll take that booklet and I'll break them down for you. Mitchell can help me break them down, and Dave can help me break them down. Right. Because there are probably going to be 20 of them on there.
Oh, yeah.
And each of them have a paragraph about that long about what it is. So we'll break them down for you. But you need to look at that stuff yourself, and you need to ask questions about it from your politicians that you're voting for. Because that's what they're there for. They're pushing this to us, so we're figuring out what we want. You need to ask them. And I know it's hard. Some of that stuff is hard.
It is. But we'll break it.
You look at it, and you have to be a lawyer to decipher some of it.
Yeah.
We'll try to break it down for you.
Yeah, we sure will. Also, we'd love to welcome our newest sponsor, Mike Walls and Lazy Q Productions. If you need a jingle for your jangle or catchphrase for your business, contact Mike Walls with Lazy Q Productions. We've had Mike Walls on the show, and we're going to have him back here in a time or so to help us out in some segments as well. Michael's been a great addition coming on and joining us. So, Mike, I hope you're enjoying the show if you're watching it, and we'll be back in touch for sure. Also, on behalf of the entire team, we are on the spot, and you want to say that, Byron?
Because Amy Klobuchar is not.
Is not. You got that right. And I'm going to leave it at that. Ladies and gentlemen, we've been going on long enough. I know that's terrible.
That is pitiful.
On behalf of Roger the Tornado Cruz, our guest, Mr. Dwight Allen, our famous producer, Mr. Dave Holland.
People.
Yes. Mr. Michael Heater, who's actually protecting us tonight, working dispatch. Mr. John Probst, who's on a special assignment. We've got Austin Stevens feeling under the weather. To my left, Byron, fighting for your freedoms, Bagwell
Good
right
night,
here.
everybody.
Mitchell Gunner, the Lookout, and myself, Mr. Friday Night David Rodgers. Good night. We will catch you on Tuesday. Have a great rest of the weekend. Thank you guys for sticking with us so long. God bless you. Have a great rest of the weekend.
Good night, everybody. Yeah.